Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the town of Cedar Lake, October 1st, 2025, work session. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Parker is absent. Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Swick?
Here.
Mr. Hunley is absent. Mr. Wilkening?
Here.
Mr. Kapora?
Present.
Mr. Sherry?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Eldridge?
Present.
Mr. Kubiak?
Here.
Ms. Hyduk is present.
All right, a couple things before we start. Mr. Viss has another commitment. He's going to be a little late getting here, and he's first under new business, so we're going to move him back down the agenda to probably last, or see when he shows up. The other thing is that Centennial Bank, Boyer Construction was omitted from the agenda under updates, and I'd like to have a motion to amend the agenda to add Centennial Bank Wire Construction to updates.
Centier.
Pardon?
Centier Bank.
Centier.
Isn't that what I said?
No.
Mr. Bank?
Close.
Well, apparently everybody knew.
I'd like to make a motion, amend the agenda.
I'll second it.
A motion by Mr. Becker to amend the agenda, and seconded by Mr. Wilkening. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Swick?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 0. Okay. Number 1 on here is Rose Garden. Do I open a special meeting or just?
The special meeting is advertised or noticed for 6 o'clock.
Okay, so I can proceed with, okay.
You can, you should.
Okay. Number 1, the special meeting first on the agenda is Rose Garden Estates, Unit 1, Performance Center credit in the amount of $6,067,696.25 to expire on October 10th, 2025. Do we have representative?
Mr. Sherry Thompson as well.
Okay, in case there's any questions, would you want to give your name if you're going to be answering?
Actually, Tom Sherry will answer.
Yeah, I'm here, Chairman. It's Tom McSherry, Lennar Homes, 1700 East Gulf Road, Schaumburg, Illinois.
Okay, I noticed in some correspondence I've seen from Mr. Austin that we have a date that needs to be inserted on that letter. Is that correct?
That's it.
October 6, 2025? No, October 9, 2026. That's the completion date?
That is the extension.
October
They go
10th.
1-year increments, so it starts 1 day before the 1 year. So the current one expires on October 10th. The renewal will go to October 9th of 2026.
That is what our documents say also.
Okay, and is that in the document now, or has to be added?
It is in a document,
It is, okay,
and I've commented on that
okay.
to the department.
And the other thing, you state that we should add a copy of the latest letter report of either the town planning department or town engineering consultant be attached and referred to in the letter of credit surety. This is the basis for the amount remaining due and owing for surety and performance proposed purposes. CBOW is advised to check off the amount and verify same to the Plan Commission and Town Council. Anything else I need to bring up?
Nope, that's all accurate and should be acted on in accepting the extension.
Does Luke, do you have a letter with the date in here?
Yeah, I looked up the latest and greatest letter that we had on this, and it's October 16th, 2019. Obviously, Don wrote that, but that's the one that established the letter of credit in the amount that's shown here on the agenda, the $6 million and change.
Mr. Chairman, my recommendation about the amount and attaching the C-bill letter is to have that list of outstanding items remaining to be completed, documented, and identified. And that's what that letter's about.
Okay, we'll attach that.
That's my recommendation, and any motion you make or solicit and receive, inclusive of that last or latest communication from Luke, should be attached.
Yes, I guess to clarify, the 2019 letter from Don is the original one before we did any, before the development even happened. We've obviously done re-inspections and as-built reviews since then. I don't think we ever went through the exercise of reducing or crossing anything off the list. We're still operating under that original performance letter of credit, so I'm not clear if I need to crank out a new letter or...
I'd recommend it be inclusive of the work still to be done, the checklist, I guess, in the simplest of descriptions to you. The punch list, checklist.
They are re-inspecting, starting Friday, recreating a new checklist since the old one was done last year, so that's in the works of happening.
Right.
Still, the final, the utility things are finished, going through the concrete and the roadways and the curbs and all that. Starting Friday, TJ's gonna go through there and
Correct.
reestablish a new list, so.
And could we get a copy of that new list when it's available?
Yes. Okay.
And I guess to the point of the commission last time, is there any way that, the motion can just renew this accepted bond for 90 days like we asked, so that they would have to come back here, even though the bond is still gonna be good for a year, your approval should only be good for 90 days to keep this ball rolling, so that way they keep on task and keep, if they need more time, they're gonna come back here after the 90 days and ask for another 90 days or whatever they may need, but.
And they told us they could get it done in 90 days.
Right, but I guess just to kind of keep their feet, keep them moving, and I think that was kind of the intention that was talked about previously, to kind of give them, you guys are gonna formally accept this for 90 days, and then they need to come back. If they don't get done, or to come back to reduce it or whatever, then they need to come back in 90 days and ask for another extension.
Well, we had talked about that at the last meeting, and they were in agreement on 90 days.
Right, so I just wanted to reiterate.
We wanted to go a little shorter, but then, through his explanation and I can't remember his name. Todd?
Yeah.
Okay, he agreed that 90 days was correct, so yes, I would highly recommend that we, any approvals included to approve for 90 days, even though the letter is good for a year.
I had a question for Tom McSherry.
Go ahead.
Mr. McSherry, I had a question. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Is it unreasonable to have you checking in at least once a month regarding the reductions of the list?
Not at all.
Okay.
At the last meeting, I committed at the wish of the commission, I will be at every meeting until this is on maintenance.
Well, every meeting would be even better. I'm wishing.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or discussion?
Just, they have had R&R out there fixing water issues with the valve boxes and the stuff that was on the list, and they've gotten all that stuff complete, I believe, so they're, seems like they're moving forward in a positive direction for sure. Now they're just awaiting that list from TJ to make sure that they get all that done, so, going as best as it has yet, so good to report that.
Sounds good. Okay, so then if there is no further discussion, we need a motion to approve. Are we approving or sending a favorable?
Favorable.
Favorable. It's a recommendation.
Recommendation to the town council.
Correct.
Okay. I need a motion to send a favorable recommendation to the town council to accept the letter of credit for $6,000,000.
$67,696.25.
$6 million.
Yeah.
$6,067,696.25, which will expire on October 6, 2026. We will send it, and then our recommendation will be for a 90-day extension, accepting the letter, but 90-day extension to complete the checklist, punch list. Also to include the checklist, the latest updated checklist from CBEL. And, what was the other one on there? Oh, yeah, well, the town engineer, that covers it, yeah. Okay, so I'll need a motion in that effect.
So moved.
I have a motion to send a favorable recommendation to the town council from Mr. Becker. Second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wilkeny. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Swett?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkeny?
Yes.
Mr. Pecora?
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, moving on. Do I close that public meeting now?
Yes, sir.
Close it?
Yes.
Okay, public meeting is now closed. Work session business, old business, number 1, Hin Holdings site plan, owner petitioner, Hin Holdings LLC, 13733 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 13640 and 13650 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting site plan approval for railside lot 14 and 15. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Russ Posen with DUG, and also got Rob Penn here. So what we're proposing is 7 self-storage buildings on between the 2 lots. These will not be manned, so there'll be a kiosk at the entrance, so there's no bathrooms or anything like that. We have 2 drives. One is mainly the inflow, and then we have an exit only. We've received Luke Sherry's comments. Actually, for us, were very, very minor, very straightforward. And it happens we actually resubmitted to Luke today, responding to all comments, including photometrics and the like. So obviously, we felt that they were pretty straightforward. He hasn't had a chance to review them, obviously, but we feel we addressed them all and got everything, I think, to meet the requirements of the town. And Rob is here if you want to know a little bit more about the self-storage units. I think he's actually built similar ones in town.
Yeah, at the Great Oaks facility.
At the Great Oaks facility.
In 2016, I think it was aware of that one. The same type of building.
Same type and everything?
Yep.
7 storage units?
7 buildings.
7 buildings, yep.
And it'll all be fenced in on the...
Yep, it'll all be fenced in, it's all paved, all that, yep.
And Luke, you haven't had a chance to do anything on it yet?
Yeah, well, as Russ mentioned, I had issued a comment letter. It was a hodgepodge of somewhat minor items. I didn't look at their resubmittal, which they just sent over today, but I have faith that they can address them fairly easily, so I don't think there's any...
There usually isn't much to correct over.
Yeah, there's not any major concerns. I'm
Yeah.
positive they can get it straightened out before 2 weeks from now.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you pull that up with the GIS, please?
Certainly.
Building department have any comments?
Not at this time.
As you're aware, we're allowed to combine the lots in the PUD, so we're combining the 2 lots. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, okay.
That is correct.
It's these 2 lots just sort of southwest of the cul-de-sac.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that water residential there?
No,
The boiler store safe,
yeah,
after there's
Pardon?
store safe facility,
Oh, okay.
storage.
self-storage behind us.
Correct.
And you'll have access through the other road out to 41?
No, we don't have access on our road.
For this development, yeah, lot 14 and 15 only has access to Alexander.
Jerry, that corner lot is a pond.
Yeah, but there's a road going east and west there.
Oh, yes, the whole development.
137th, yeah,
Yeah, the whole development.
yeah,
So that's gonna go back over to the,
to 41.
to the 40, okay,
Yeah.
that was my question.
Yeah, once,
Already done.
yeah, it's already publicly dedicated, and once
Okay.
it's complete and connected, you have access to 41.
That helps the whole development. I got it out.
Correct.
So all you're looking for tonight is our blessing, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
In 2 weeks.
I look like a priest.
that's what we're looking for.
Do we have any other, yeah, you're saying yes, I do. Do we have any other comments?
How much room is in between the buildings, 30 feet?
30 feet, yes.
30 feet, and then also on the end, 30 feet?
Yep, these are wider than some self-storage buildings in the area, go 25, these are 30.
It's the same as we built the Great Oaks.
No outside storage, no...
No outside storage, nope, it's all interior, self-storage,
You said there's 30 feet between the buildings?
between the buildings, yes.
Same as the ones behind me, or 30 feet as well.
Between the buildings, there's 30 feet?
Mhm.
What's between the ones at Fair Oak? Is that 30?
Great Oaks. He says they're 30. He says they're 30.
That's what it was original. It works pretty well.
Yeah.
Anything less, it's a little tight. 30 works well.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I would say,
Good,
do what you gotta do.
we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. New business, number one is BSC Real Estate, the Priory Concept Plan, and we're gonna move this down to the bottom, until Mr. Visk gets here.
John,
What?
when we amended the agenda, or we're gonna add that, remember we amended it?
Yeah,
Are we gonna add to it? We just amended it
we just amended for the,
to,
for the bank.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the only thing that's on the update items. Okay, number two, under new business, Railside Lot 1 Site Plan, petition owner Bluffton 23 LLC, 902 Brookville Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. Cindy of 14011 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting site plan for Railside Lot 1.
Yes, Russ Posen with DVG team again, representing the Bluffton LLC. As you recall, we were here a little while back for a kind of a study session, really before we kicked off any engineering, just to get a feel. And we took some of those comments and discussions, and we went a little farther. Like with that in mind, we did a traffic study, which we did submit. This development is about a 3,600 square foot convenience store with a six pump gas station, which will total of 12 usable areas at the corner of 141st and Alexander. We got a main entrance on the far north portion of the site, and then we have a proposed right-in only, kind of at the south. We did, part of the traffic study that we did kind of say that a little bit of backup, part of the traffic study said that backup could be about 75 feet, so that's kind of where we have that entrance only. It just helps the kind of the flow of the site to get in and get out for vehicles. This site plan that you see before you, we actually took care to actually kind of make the paved area wider than normal. A lot of that has to do with really what Cedar Lake is. We have a lot of boats and people coming to the lake and contractors, so we kind of wanted to give them a little room for their boats and their trucks to fill up on their way, you know, from 41 to the lake, or vice versa, or for any of the contractors or other folks out there that are traveling this way. We gave you a rendering of the building, the elevation. You know, it's I think it's a nice looking building that they're proposing here. Some nice stone veneer and some limestone looking ephes. The height of the building is 21 feet, and the HVAC units on top of the building, they're going to be hid by the parapet, so I think they did a nice job with that. Again, with comments from Luke, we actually have those mostly addressed. We're actually still working on, you know, a few of them, the mine that we'll be submitting, and looking at the traffic study comments that we want to address or discuss a little further with Luke and his team. But yeah, we think this is a nice product and a nice addition for Cedar Lake. Again, like I said, you know, kind of the folks with the boats and all, I think they'll really enjoy using this gas station. It's very convenient. So, any comments, questions? Here, answer.
You said right in and right out.
So that at the south is a right in only. Then the
Wait,
northern,
you said the south?
There's two
Okay,
drives.
off 141st.
There's nothing.
Anything goes.
There's nothing connected to 141st because that's a no access easement. So we're only connecting to Alexander. That's what the site plan shows. I believe you have that.
How's the traffic gonna get in and out of there then?
Up Alexander.
Off Alexander.
So they can turn in the first
so then-
entrance
Yeah, so are they coming in off of 141st?
onto Alexander.
They'd have to take a left
okay,
on Alexander.
Yeah,
I thought you-
explained it right. Yeah.
I thought you said they weren't going on 141st, so,
No.
okay.
No.
Mr. Posen, let me finish.
Yes, sir.
You said the north is right in only?
No, the north is full. Full
The
access.
south is right in only.
Yep. Yeah, it's a narrower, in the site plan, I think you guys have it, so the south is set up for, it's not as wide, it's just right in only. The north is where the, you know, the tanker truck and full access, full exit. So yeah, this is as far north,
So
which is
how do you-
obviously ideal.
How are you gonna delineate that?
We have, we have signage on there that'll be enter only. And I have some signage, actually it's here in the drive-out that says, you know, that's a enter, I'm sorry, it says the do not enter, so you can't go
There's
from there.
nothing on the road?
No, nothing in Alexander. No, besides it being an angle, and a very sharp angle, and very narrow. So it really forces people to only be able to come in, and then there's signage so that you cannot come out.
So if somebody comes in the north end and swings around with a boat, they can still go back out the north end?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, like I said, the kind of the layout and the dimensions between the pumps and the curb is much wider than normal. You know, people can actually park, you know, on the outside curb lines if you want. If you've ever been to like a Casey's in Crown Point, a lot of the Amazon vehicles do that. We kind of set it up to make it a little bit more convenient for people to maneuver very easily.
So according to the rendering, this is a to-go?
That is, yeah, to go.
Is
So that's,
this
I think
what
that's
is
the
this what it
brand.
is? This is the brand?
That's my understanding of the brand.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's maybe a BP brand, but again, I don't want to
That's what
necessarily
I know it is.
Yeah, the one in Crown Point is a to-go BP brand.
And the south entrance is 24 feet opening, and the north one is 35?
The south one's 35, and I'm sorry, the north one is 35, and the south one's only 15.
Oh,
So
I see 24 on here.
It says 24 even on here.
I see 15. If it was 24, then that's the wrong one. I have an updated version.
I think the concept plan showed 24, and the engineering plan showed the 15.
Yeah, the engineering plan, yeah, if you're looking at the concept plan, then forgive me, that's not the right engineering plan that was submitted. Do you guys have you have the one with the 15-foot?
On the computer here, right?
24.
iPad, I've got a 24.
Luke, do you have the capability of like showing him that one? I have this just small version.
I don't know if I see it in here.
So since we're not looking at the right plan, is that road going in from the south, is it actually curved go in, so that if you tried to go out to the left, it's,
Yes.
because this is showing wide open
Yep,
on the
yep.
whole thing, okay.
Yep, yeah, the engineering plan that Luke has, I'm sorry, that's where
So
the
the
confusion comes from.
delineation is in the curve.
Correct, correct. Yeah, sorry for confusion, he has the submitted.
I guess I have a question, what else isn't right on what we're looking at?
That's it. From a site layout perspective, that should be it. That should be it, yeah. And that was what was submitted for engineering.
Yeah.
And you got 6 pumps?
6 pumps, yes. Yeah, and as far as comments, again, from photometrics, we addressed those, we worked with,
So please compare this one to the other one and make sure that, there's nothing else there we're missing.
Certainly.
Because that curving in is perfect.
Why did you change from 24 to 15?
So we did the traffic study based on, from the study session requirements of doing the traffic study, and the backup on Alexander, for this development, it backs up to about 70-something feet, so we just wanted to make sure that we didn't have people want to do a full access in that location. We want the full access to be farther north. Just helps flow, we want to keep flow moving.
And on the north, they can go in or out?
Yes, absolutely.
But only right in on the south?
Correct.
So if they come in from the north, how do they get turned around so they can go back out the north? Drive around the building?
The widths of the drive aisles are wide enough for two-way traffic, so they can go any which way in a circle to get out to the northern entrance.
Just 33 feet's down right.
Well, the entrance is 35, I got 33.
33 on each side of the canopy?
I got 46 on the south, I got 34 between parking and the canopy, so I got quite a bit.
And then between the pumps, you got 30 feet, is that?
Correct.
So this is close to the railroad track, you've got
Yes.
the pumps, looks like it's on the south end, close to 141st Street.
Correct.
How is that protected for future with the train traffic coming through, rumbling and shaking that ground, basically between the tanks and the pumps themselves?
So so you're worried about the
Future leakage with it?
just to give you some, that's an interesting concern, but the tanks that are nowadays, the standards to get those installed is so much higher than ever. The chances of that having any kind of problem with any shaking is really none.
Okay, but you got lines going to the pumps then also that's gonna be in the ground, that's gonna move back and forth.
Yeah, the train's not gonna shake that far up, that's several hundred feet away.
I beg to differ, because I bet if you ask the people in the townhouses on the other side, I bet they shake, but...
Yeah, the standards for underground tanks and pipes are so much higher than the past. They don't have the problems. Yeah, and those are monitored.
All the tanks are monitored, alarmed, all that stuff.
Yes.
The lines going to the building, they're all monitored?
Everything's monitored. Yep.
Luke, do you have any comments or?
Traffic is the big one on this one. Not only on Alexander and right here in 141st, but also, as everyone knows, US 41 and 141st is a problem child at an intersection. I know Don was working with NDOT even before Railside to try to get a signal there. So it's one of those things where NDOT's not going to put in a signal for development. They're more reactive than proactive. So, the additional traffic from this gas station will make that traffic a little bit worse at that intersection, but until, we get NDOT and everyone to make the overall improvements, it's just gonna make a bad situation a little worse.
Were we anticipating putting a right exit off of 141st?
Yeah, that was part of it too. It needed a traffic signal and a dedicated right turn lane. Really needed those two things to really solve it. It's just the timing of that is a little bit uncertain, so this interim condition we just don't know how long it'll last.
And that's not our road, so we can't even touch it.
It's NDOT's call. Obviously, it's, one of those things where, you know, the more we pester them and the worse that it gets, it'll get fixed quicker, but it's still not up to us. We just have to work with them.
Well, I can probably question NERC on that,
Mhm.
Northwest Indiana Regional Planning, that,
Right.
don't have a meeting till December now. They canceled their one for October.
And the county too.
And just for what I learned at my last NERC meeting, they'll release, the turn lane on, 41 going from, 231, 109th down to 135th in November, and they plan to start construction in the spring. That's what they told me at the last Northwest Indiana Regional Planning meeting.
What are the intended operating hours?
Actually, I don't have that in front of me. I think they'll meet town's ordinance on that one. I'll have to look at that.
Do they intend to sell alcohol?
No.
Okay, since the school's right by. Right.
Tim, do you have anything?
Nope, nothing at this time.
This building is 90, feet wide, and I can't see in, the width of it, or the north and south,
It's around 40 feet.
they're what,
It's around 40 feet.
40 feet?
This had no restaurant or nothing, it was just the convenience store.
Just a convenience store.
And there's a sidewalk, or there is no sidewalk?
There is no sidewalk. There's an existing sidewalk on 141st, but we're not doing any more sidewalk on Alexander.
I meant on the south side of Lot 1. Is there a
Yes,
sidewalk all the way
there's an
across there, right?
existing sidewalk,
Okay, all right.
Any other questions?
You don't think there should be some kind of sidewalk for walkers to get to the gas station instead of walking on Alexander? That little bit? Either side, but just to get to the parking lot maybe? I mean, it's just something, since there is a sidewalk along 141st and there's a convenient, I mean.
You got a little piece of sidewalk to the west of the tank.
You're missing the railroad crossing, but you got a lot of
Yeah.
foot traffic there. I mean, it might not be a bad thought to have a
Just to the,
sidewalk.
yeah, just to the west of,
driveway.
west of the tanks?
Just somewhere to get to the parking lot without walking it down in the middle of Alexander, I guess. Just a thought. I mean, might not be a bad,
I'll review that with the owner.
might not be a bad idea, just to, since we made them put that sidewalk in there, it'd be nice to
Connect with something.
get to somewhere, yeah, I mean, I could see the potential for that use, people going to that convenience store, I mean,
No, it's a good suggestion.
just something to think about.
Might get kids from the school going over there to get a drink or something.
It's more business for them.
Yeah.
That south entrance, you're gonna reconfigure you're showing two curves.
So the current site plan that we have and that we've already submitted is what I've been talking about. I'll make sure in our resubmittal that everything is updated and clean, and you have that for your review, even the rendering, so it's all clean, and, you know, you can, well before the 2 weeks, make sure everybody knows what they're looking at, and we're not having any miscommunication, and that's my fault.
I don't know.
Well, I guess gotta look into that sidewalk and upgrading this, site plan and, what was?
Yeah, and we'll resubmit to Luke and you all, and you'll have everything answered and all the comments. Similar comments is from an engineering perspective, very similar to what we had on the lot 14, 15, and we've addressed them, so.
And I'd revisit traffic flow around there to just make sure that we've got the best traffic flow for the town and for the business.
Sure.
Usually people fill their boat up before they go to the lake. So we need to move the gas station to the other side of the road.
Hey, they'll find a way, you'll get there.
You can't get another UP.
It'll get there, it'll get there. It'll be nice, they'll like it. We'll address those.
Okay, that's it?
That's it.
No other questions?
Got nothing.
Go do your homework.
Thank you. See you.
You bet. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. Viss is here. We'll go back to new business number one, DSC Real Estate Priory Concept Plan. Petitioner Nathan Viss, Viss Law, 12632 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake. Owner BSC Real Estate LLC. City of 12931 Parish Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a concept plan to rezone to a planned unit development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nathan Viss here on behalf of my client, BSC Real Estate. This is known as the Priory. We've been before you before. Apologize for my tardiness as I had to be in two places at once this evening. Our request for you this evening is, I guess it's still conceptual, but when we applied but when we resubmitted the PUD with some red line changes back on December 17th, it's our request that we can move forward, hopefully to a public comment, public process at the end of the month. Just by way of backdrop, this is in regards to the 60 acres known as the Priory. We've been before you, I think, since about May. We started with a concept plan much earlier than that. Back in August, Mr. Austin requested that we sit down, had a good meeting with him. Coming out of that meeting, it was my understanding the one change that was being requested was an update to the phased development plan, which we did make. We were prepared in September to move forward for a September public meeting. There was a request to meet with staff. We had a great meeting with staff, I think, on the 12th. And 5 days later, we sent out to everybody the red line changes that we had discussed and requested with them. So I'm prepared to go through those red lines and answer any questions here this evening. I'll start with the phased development plan. I think a concern that Mr. Wilkening had raised back in August was to see whether or not we could get some specificity, more details in here, as well as what sort of fallback provision did we have in case certain items that we've outlined weren't developed within the anticipated time frame. So, Mr. Wilkening, one of the things that I did is I went back and outlined at the very end of this phased development plan is that this is more of a rubric. We're hoping to achieve all these, but that they're not steps, that you don't have to get past step one to get to step two, to get to step three, that they can be done in conjunction with each other. And then I've also outlined at the end of it that if we get between now and the proposed 7 years that we're anticipating for development of the items addressed, that we'd have to come back before this body for reasonable approval. So that's what I've built into the proposed construction plan. Are there any questions on that before I proceed onward?
You have 7 years to get any one thing or any all things done?
Good question. Nope, so we've got it in phase one, phase two, and phase three. And they kind of relate to the anticipated flow of development. So phase one is recreational pavilions, recreational band shelter, pole barn for animal storage, facility for a tent wedding venue. That's kind of anticipated phase one, and that's in 1 to 3 years. And then there's some other expand existing parking lot, perhaps begin developing greenhouses, perhaps beginning developing walking, jogging trails.
Well, Mr. Viss, perhaps developing
Yep.
is my concern.
Yep.
That's not stages, those aren't phases.
Correct.
Perhaps considering.
Yep.
I've sat in here a long time ago and heard somebody say, we're gonna do it in the future.
Yep. And that's why...
And one thing should kind of trigger the next thing, considering this is the most, and I'm gonna tell you, I've shared that color document with so many people, they can't wait.
Mhm.
They can't wait, but this has to be done correctly. We have a moratorium,
Mhm.
so we're gonna have trailers and bathrooms and whatever. We have a concert.
Yep.
Very cool. Are there gonna be campers there? Got people staying the weekend. All these little details. This is the most unique situation we have here, and it's 60-plus acres.
Yep.
And the details, the Pinecrest property down there on the south end of the lake, every detail. could have this here, you could have that there, you know, it's all laid out.
Mm-hmm.
It was all developed. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So, and I think that's the uniqueness of this, is to say it's our goal to accomplish these. And if it's not, right, then that's why I built into the construction plan, we'd have to come back before you for that approval. Because we recognize, yeah, you don't want an open-ended time frame. But at the same time, my client puts in the tent pavilion, which is the anticipation for weddings within the first 3 years, puts in some pavilions, but realizes during that time frame that people are really itching for something that's in phase 2 or phase 3. I'm not sure it's wise, and in speaking with the town we met a couple of weeks ago, I think they recognize that we need some latitude for some phases in here,
Okay.
but again, recognize that if it's not accomplished by a certain period, I agree with you, we can't have carte blanche. That's why I've said come back before you.
So, for example, the moratorium gets lifted
Mhm.
on one or both of the issues. Is there gonna be a lift station put in 12 months? Those are all reasonable deadlines, I think, considering the vastness of this. I had one question. You talked to Mr. Austin once?
I sat down with him on August 26th.
And then after that, you sat down with staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that was the request, so, and sent on 9/17 the red line to everybody that clearly depicts all of the changes.
If they have a concert there and it's some well-known something performing there, what is that going to do to traffic on Parrish? Will we need to have police out there directing traffic, or?
No, good question. So actually, we've been doing some trial runs out there. We've had, forgive me, not the K-9 unit, we've had the SWAT team out there. We've had a couple other nature groups out there, probably in excess of 200 visitors out there. And it's kind of been trial runs, and it's been wonderful. I mean, the ingress, egress, there hasn't been a problem that my client has observed. So, yeah. And that was one of the things actually we talked about with staff, was recognizing that we would need, most likely when we get to that point for the site plan development, some turn lanes. And what we built back into this at their request is that when those turn lanes need to be implemented, that's on my client's cost. It's not on the town's cost, even though that's in essence a public improvement, but that will be borne by my client.
Well, you said when they're needed. When is the when?
So, that would be next step, right? So, when we get to the point of having zoning approval, then the next step is going to be site plan development for the variety of things. I'll quick come back, Mr. Wilkin, before I forget. One of the items that you referenced is what about installation of potable water, as well as sewer lines. My client's goal, between year 1 and year 3, is to have that installed and ready to connect. If he could, he'd do it.
And that's gonna be in the PUD contract?
That's in phase development plan. That's bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
That's because the cost today is cheaper than it's gonna be next spring. So what we'd love to do is work that into the slope and get that installed so that it's ready to go. And it's also critical to know, because some of the developments that we'd like to do, I can't tell you and look you in the eye and say, it's gonna be done, Mr. Wilking, by year 4. Because if we don't have the moratorium lifted, and if we don't have, approval.
There's a lot of variables.
It is. It really is.
I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
So that's what I've done in the phase development plan, is I shrank the 2 to 10 that I had for phase 3 to 2 to 7, and we built in that, look, if it's not accomplished in these phases, we gotta come back before you. Because you're right, you guys have to have that modicum of control that's not 20 years from now. Yeah.
That always comes back to haunt us. So the official name of this place is, the owner's BSC Real Estate.
Yep.
And it's gonna be called Prairie Farms?
Prairie Farms,
That's
that's
gonna
correct.
that's gonna be the official name.
That's the official name.
Prairie Farms?
Yep, harken back to its 70, 80-year history.
Ben, with the moratorium, and we're allowed to submit notice of intent, and would this fall in that category? Or?
I mean, yeah, IDEM is accepting NOIs, so, I mean, they could submit an NOI for this, yes.
Do you see any problem, Dave?
I have no idea, Bob.
Okay. Good answer.
So the 3-year lift station water line. If it doesn't get done in that time period, what, I mean, is there gonna be an insurance for this? Because that's gonna be a significant cost.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the documentation, access to the property and all that stuff. There's also a developmental contract. Is that, have you started on that? I mean,
No.
PUD, okay, so there's still a big piece of this.
I haven't been made aware of a missing piece.
Well, there's the PUD agreement, and then there's the,
Development agreement, which is right here.
I thought there was something else.
There's a ordinance, there's a development agreement, and the ordinance, the guidelines itself are the three.
Well, I don't have a problem with the zoning, the ordinance, that stuff. It's just that these things need to be done, and there needs to be a way to fix them if they're not done.
Yep.
That's what this is about. And do you plan on using the north in and out, the gravel area there that's blocked off now? I mean, I guess for events, if you have everybody parking up on top.
You mean on
they could leave.
129?
It's right across from 129.
Well,
but they'd be
on
coming-
here, it doesn't show any entrance in there.
But
So I think
there's an opening.
your question is a good one. And when we get to site plan development for the egress to it, I anticipate working with Luke, what they'll probably say is the one that's at the center, maybe the better one just for site plan ingress and egress. But that's a decision to be determined. But that's what I would anticipate. That's probably the most likely decision. But that's me hypothecating as an engineer.
So you mentioned tent venues. Is that a tent that's gonna be up year round? Is that the plan? Is it gonna be concrete? It's gonna be?
No concrete. If you're
Okay.
familiar with the venue that's in Michigan City, there is a supper club out there. I forget the name of it, but they've had for several years one of these tents that's out there. It's driven into the ground, level mulch up to the sides. And that's where they host all sorts of venues, similar to that.
So the tent could be there forever, in theory?
Well, yeah, not forever, but a replacement, right?
I mean, we replace it with another tent, and replace it with another tent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, frequently it's done for high-end venue events. Yep.
Yeah.
Nature, yep.
There's so many temporary things spinning through my head.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for your list of waivers again?
So if we go into...
You got sidewalk?
Yep, so why don't we turn to Exhibit C, which is the development agreement. So one of the first things that town staff requested is that we differentiate between the interior lot, which is known as Lot 1, the exterior lot, which is Lot 2. But really starting on page 4 of the development agreement, a couple of items. So paragraph 16, we had brought before you, I think back in June and July, the question had been raised here as to a sidewalk. We had discussed that there's the slope there. There's the question, is it a sidewalk to nowhere? And one of the things that we discussed with staff when we met is that how about we grant to the town an additional 20 feet alongside the entire roadway there, so that if and when the town desires to extend a sidewalk, if that's something that they do want to do, you have the right to do it. So we've worked that in here, that you would have the right to place a public sidewalk, and I think 20 feet is very, very gracious. I just drove it on the way here. You really, really need that there. And I don't know what's the best side. Then you go to the houses that are between there and the corner, and they're really close, so I don't know if it's proper, but that's something my client recognizes, so let's do it. B, recognition that there's a lot of green space here. We're going to have public jogging places. There would be a park impact fee that would be required. E, if you turn the page, this is again a request of town staff, which I can appreciate, is that any and all improvements which are necessary for turn lanes off Parish would be installed and paid for by the developer. The other waiver that we had that was also built in here is one we had discussed previously, is that there wouldn't be any requirement for a bond of anything. I think the reason we had that is there's really no public, quote, infrastructure that's going in here. We're tapping into public infrastructure, but we're not creating public infrastructure that's eventually going to be owned by you. So in my mind, it didn't make sense to hold money back or a bond if that wasn't going to be the case.
Well, if you put a lift station in, you're gonna be putting infrastructure in.
Yeah, but we would own and maintain that, yeah, up to the point that it connects up at the, Parish Avenue.
That would be theirs.
Yeah.
What about a possibility of a crosswalk for Monastery South? Do you think that might be something that might be worthwhile in case the people from over there want to come across the street and go to it?
That's a great thought, Mr. Carnahan. What comes in my mind is what we did with the redevelopment commission a couple of years ago, which is where we used paint, and perhaps just a sign and a blinking light to ensure that people slow down. I just passed a couple on the way here by Hundley's Bar and by the Eagles, so maybe that's something that can be discussed down the road, that could be used to heighten that that's a cross area.
Tim, you like the lights we have down here by the Sandbar and the Dairy Bell, right?
Yeah, they do the job, I mean, they.
And you thought that that might be something for future, or for other crosswalks?
Yeah, some kind of light of some sort, either something that you can push a button and flash, or I mean, something to let people know that there's people wanting to cross, I guess, is what we need. I mean, especially in those darker areas or whatever, but.
Well, with that being said, if you put a crosswalk there to come across the property, you need to put sidewalk in.
Right. Well, and again, I think that they're creating a wedding venue and maybe a place to have some music, but they're really not creating a city park that people are gonna be walking across the street to. I mean, this is a destination that you're gonna, I could see maybe in the rare occasion somebody from Monastery South going to a music event or something, but I'm gonna guess that 98% of the people are gonna be driving there to an event of some sort of wedding or what have you, but I don't think a crosswalk, sidewalks is something, if we're looking to have sidewalks all the way down Parish, that's something for you guys to consider, whether it's on them or on future plan. Like you said, there's nothing there now. It's been, I know we made Monastery South kind of create that sidewalk through their neighborhood and then through those lots to get out to the corner of 129th and Parish.
But
But that
we tried to put
that just benefits the people in Monastery South. If you're putting there, it says now, you're putting in a sidewalk to nowhere, well, you're putting in a crosswalk to nowhere if you cross the street and you're
There's
in
nowhere
a
to
pile
drive.
of grass.
Right, agreed.
So, I'm just saying, if you're gonna put a crosswalk in, you gotta end it at a sidewalk. Same example is over by MacArthur School. They will put a crosswalk
To nowhere.
across, and there's
Yeah.
no way to do it.
But we have in the past wanted people to put sidewalks in everywhere, even where there was a sidewalk to nowhere. For us to, someday if we get sidewalks over there, then we've got to bear the brunt of the cost of that. And under State Bill 1, the town's gonna lose $600,000 in 2026, $700,000 in 2027, and $800,000 in 2028 because of the real estate thing, and I'm just concerned about money. They want us to put an income tax on residents.
What does that have to do with the crosswalk?
I'm talking about the sidewalk. That we might, the way I hear it, that we would be responsible for it.
Well, that's what he's
In the
saying
future,
right
yeah.
now, is that if we waiver the sidewalk, they're gonna give us 20 feet, of ground, and then in the future, if we want a sidewalk, it's up to the town to put it in.
Yeah, at our.
I'm saying if you're gonna put a crosswalk up, you need a sidewalk, you need the crosswalk to go to the sidewalk. I'm not saying going all the way down Parish in front of the property, but if you're coming on in at the main entrance, of Monastery, coming across the street, then you should have a sidewalk at least going from there to the main entrance to the Friary. I'm not saying the whole thing. Or if you put it on 129th Street coming across, then you should have a sidewalk coming down to where the entrance is gonna be. And so everybody's gonna drive there. Well, everybody's not gonna drive there. If you got a fishing pond there, if you got, walk trails there, running paths, you know, kids show up on their bike, I know a lot of old guys that ride bikes.
My grandson in Valpo rides his bike to all kinds of ponds over there.
That's all I'm saying, the crosswalk needs a sidewalk. How
So-
much, I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
so back to the crosswalk. I'm fairly familiar with how much traffic onto the property before they bought it. What are you getting now for traffic from across the street? It's private property now. You don't have people coming down there and walking around just like they own the place?
I live in Mary Ann.
Okay, well, you have a few, well, you have some, a couple of those people are, there all the time. So, that's a good thing, but I just don't see the crosswalk, because, again, it's private property. And you're only coming across from Monastery South.
And I think, Mr. Wilking, like we did a couple of years ago with the RDC, if we recognize that there's a need, there's a pretty cost-effective mechanism
Yeah.
to effectuate it.
Yeah, I do agree with Mr. Carnahan about the sidewalk and the finances, but, is the carport, that staying?
No, that's part of bullet points.
Okay. The giant carport, not that, no, that's a pole building.
Okay.
The carport,
Make sure
the old carport.
Carport,
No, I would never get rid of that building in Long Parish, no, I wouldn't do that. You had said the shed behind the,
No, it's not gone, it's gonna be gone.
okay, the shed attachment to the back of the glazed brick garage, that's gone. That's gonna be gone. That's gonna be gone. So the big carport is gonna be gone. Is there something on paper? When's that gonna be gone?
I don't know if it's on paper, but.
Okay.
No, I guess it is, it's all in phase, that's all phase one.
Yep, remove carport and structure behind garage. That is bullet point 1.
Okay, but the big carport, the real carport that had metal put on there, that's on there too?
Yep, that's carport behind the
Okay.
building.
All right.
If you want to, Mr. Wilking, prior to...
Well, I'm just kind of going through some of these things
Yep.
in my head. You haven't asked a waiver for parking lot requirements. If you make the parking lot that's there now bigger, you're kind of going up the hill. Okay, well, parking lot requirements are of significance. So you're not looking for any parking lot waivers of any kind?
I think what we've asked for as part of the, some of the requirements is that there wouldn't be curbing, but that we could have the rolled sheeting so that it would just be able to roll off, because we kind of have natural ponding that goes on
Yeah.
throughout. But other than that, the parking lots that are there in good condition, maybe eventually they'll need a top coat, but otherwise, yeah, we recognize that you've got the existing parking lot requirements
Okay.
for substrate.
So where are we at with the animals? Because that's been a huge topic of conversation.
Good question. I'll take you there next.
Okay.
So Exhibit D was the second item that town officials wanted to work through, which I appreciate. I'll start on page 6, which talks about the purpose of the declaration, the property subjected to the declaration. One of the items that identified, working with Tim and with Ben, as well as with Michelle, is they said, we recognize that we're not dealing with, as you identified, Mr. Wilking, very great detail that we would normally have on, say, a 2-lot development right here. But what we do have is that picture that you've referenced, that you've shared with people, and they're really excited about it. So underneath 3.1A, what we've identified is that the location of the proposed improvements that are found on that proposed site plan, that's where those are going to go. But if we modify beyond that, such as, for example, year 6, we say, a brewery would be really good here. We'd have to be back before you getting a site plan approval for where that brewery is going to go. So we added that in per their request.
And I will tell you, just an event like that would be fantastic.
Awesome.
We gotta have a plan.
Yep, I agree with you.
Gotta have a plan.
That's why we want to convey that what we've got on paper is where that stuff is going to go, but if there's anything else new that's added, for example, my client wants to put a house back left corner, that's got to come back before you guys for approval, okay? If we move to section 4.1, some of the concerns that you had, Mr. Wilkening, was the jogging paths. We're not going to have some kid on a CC bike viewing that he can just zip around down there, so underneath 4.1C, we've clarified the use for what these jogging paths can be used for. Another concern was campgrounds. So we've clarified in here, per your request, that campground space shall be used for educational or event-related camping not to exceed 3 continuous nights in duration.
This is tent camping?
I think we were anticipating either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a camper, where do you hook the, I mean, there's a holding tank in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that has hopefully 3 days worth.
Yeah. Yep. No, we specifically discussed that with
Okay.
Ben, and
All right.
that's what we said, no, this is for event or educational related tenting.
Mr. Austin, have you seen this red line document?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
So on that camping piece, does that include vendors? Because I know you talked about that last time, that vendors may be there for the weekend. Does that include them as part of that camping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Turn next to 4.2. So again, we clarified camping on that page, and then we get to 4.2I, hobby farms. So we had previously worked in, and it's still there, what an animal unit looks like, what may be adopted. Talked with Tim, talked with Ben, and said, hey, look, let's just put a max in there. So that's what we've got. So for that roughly 30 acres, we've got a maximum number of 8 cattle, 6 horses, or 150 fowl may be allowed on the property. So that's a cap that we've put in there, just to make it very simple, clean, and easy as to those main 3 animals. Beyond that then, only other item, had a good conversation with Tim and Ben this afternoon. We were bantering back and forth. Concern that Mr. Kubiak had raised previously was the lot coverage area. We're combining possible R2 with possible B2, B3 with resort style. Which lot coverage do you go with? I originally started at 60. He said this is too much. I said 30. He said that's too much. And I think if we're agreeable to, we can drop that to maximum 25% lot coverage. And I can make that modification before we come to our next meeting. So that would be a change as to maximum building area lot coverage on page 9. Other requests that they had made.
Mr. Viss, hang on.
Yep.
I don't want to leave the animals yet. Luke, when you have a property like that, and you have those animals roaming around for a long, long time, things happen downhill. Is there some criteria for that? Because the neighbors to the south will not be warm and fuzzy about that. I know it's kind of a swamp, but we don't want it to be a lot like a swamp.
There's no hard and fast rules that I know of when
Okay.
it comes to that.
Okay.
It'd be similar to deers running all over the place and.
If you can get 300 geese off my property, that'd be great.
Well, let me tell you, that's why people were allowed to bring their dogs down there. Because the original owner said, I'd rather have dog leftovers on my tires once in a while than 10,000 geese leftovers.
Nathan, the document that you're reading from, is this the one that was emailed to everybody on the 17th?
Yes. 9/17/204. Please find attached in anticipation of being on the agenda the first week of October. 2 of the documents were in red lines so that everyone could cleanly see these changes.
Okay.
Page 10, infrastructure. Again, town staff said, hey, look, we don't know if it's going to be a requirement, but odds are it may long-term, that you have fire hydrant infrastructure down there. If it's going to have to be installed, it's not going to be on us, it's going to be on you, the developer. That's built into page 10. We can see that there. The other thing that we also identified is that we're giving the town a 20-foot easement along Parish Avenue again for any public utility uses that you may need long-term. So that's been worked into this document as well. In terms of a waiver, Luke added this on page 11 underneath stormwater. We referenced that stormwater may be retained on-site to assist with collection and development of on-site ponds. It's not like we're going to have a ton of impermeability, but we would like the ability to run collected stormwater into these ponds as they kind of tier one to the next, and that way we can try to keep some fresher water in them and avoid them from being stagnant.
For the record, I didn't add that, but I agree with it.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're learning things as we study and be on site. And then lastly, underneath utility service, we've just referenced again on page 12 and 13 that the cost of the infrastructure for utilities is going to be on my client. It's not going to be on the town. That was a concern that Ben and Michelle and Tim had, so we've worked that in. So those are all the concerns that I think we worked through with town staff. If there's any that I've missed or any that they have special recommendations on, certainly willing to consider those.
These ponds, you're going to, run lines so the stormwater goes to them?
It's possible. Like, for example, you've got the parking lot, right? So if it makes sense that you would tilt the parking lot to aggregate it and run a drain tile into a pond, we're just saying that we reserve the right to do that, just in this document. That's always subject to engineering review, but it's just something we thought was prudent to put in there.
And you got just the 2 ponds there?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Some of the water, Bob, goes north and some of it goes south.
Yeah, right in the divide, I learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, Cedar Lake is a destiny spot, for people to come to, and I think this could probably be a destiny spot that people wanna come and see additional stuff in the great town of Cedar Lake.
So back to the most expensive infrastructure. What are we gonna use for a trigger in your document for that? It's gonna be in there by the 3rd year, no matter what.
Well, you can't change it.
That's,
Yeah. So I'm looking.
well, I'm thinking both,
How about you give me a document that says I can have it by 3 years?
I'd give it to you right now. I'd give it to you
That's
right
part
now.
of the thing, I can't, you're not giving me
No, I-
information, so I can't give you a schedule on what I'm gonna do.
I
can't put a restaurant there until I have water.
Yeah, but you could have an Oktoberfest next October because you got a tent.
I could.
And we'd look.
There's always assurances built into
Yeah.
this stuff somehow. And like I said, I think once the moratorium is up, I think 12 months from then would be reasonable, I think, to get this infrastructure done by.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Why can't I put a lift station in right now? Is it a moratorium on waste, or is it on water? On waste also?
Then,
Yeah.
My understanding it was on water, the moratorium.
It's only on water?
My understanding it was on water.
Well, I thought we had a problem with sewer capacity.
My understanding was the moratorium had to deal with water, and that is why IDEM was not issuing NOIs because of the water, or approving NOIs. That's because of the water. That's why we had Seabell Engineering do the water master plan, to move this water system forward.
and what is the process now to get a notice of intent?
Well, you give the paperwork to me, and then I forward it to our water staff and to Luke. They double check the numbers and everything, and then we forward it on to IDEM.
So there's a potential.
I will say the building moratorium was instituted before I was here, so I would have to fall back on the 2 council members for clarification on that
Well,
moratorium.
we enacted that back in March, but that was before we even found out anything about the water.
March of '24?
Yes.
Okay.
But originally it was because of sewer and water both.
Right.
Because the east side never had a water problem,
No,
but yet we still have a moratorium on there.
Mr. Ross,
Because
do we
it has
have
to do
2
with-
moratorium on 2 items or 1?
It's a global moratorium. It's over all the utility as a
all right.
consequence of
Right.
all unknowns about our utilities.
And I think what we
Basically development.
what we discussed last time was installing it up to the road, right? I mean, we'd love to tap in right away, but can we install it up to the road and then connect? Because the point is that if we can put both in at once, it saves on a ton of mobility.
I get it. I think that's a great idea, because it's there.
And I have some concerns about just how, there's gotta be some kind of an agreement worked out with the town and the developers as far as if it's gonna be a metered sewer account, or is each individual building gonna, there's gotta be some type of they're gonna have a lift station, obviously, that they're gonna maintain and take care of, and they're just gonna pump their sewage into our sewer system. So there's gotta be some kind of an agreement worked out with the town and you guys as to what is that gonna be? I mean, is there gonna be a per gallon discharge fee per month? There's gotta be something. You can't just...
Individual businesses are trying to
How are they? Well, they pay by a monthly rate, basically, of an X amount based on the usage, I guess, so it's.
How are they tracking the usage? Because in the city, they track it by how much water you use.
Well, we're starting to be able to do some of that, but we have a lot of our town that doesn't have city water but has sewer, so there's metered account, there's a bunch of different ways that it's done right now, so I would just like to make sure that there is some type of agreement.
So, for example.
Beforehand, or
for example, the building, the Mexican ice cream, there's 3 businesses there. They all pay a sewer fee?
Correct.
It's just a flat fee?
Correct.
There's only 2 businesses there, right?
Yeah, 2, right. So I think that what we need to identify in here, and I can do that, Tim, is to say, for example, the wedding venue, once constructed, will have its own sewer, water fee, right? If the, and then the main building that would be connected to it, the 3 stores there would have it once it's transitioned over. And then there's a separate educational facility for farmyard animals, and there is water, and there are bathroom facilities there, that would have one.
Yeah, and again, like the conference grounds has got kind of a similar kind of situation, and they have they meter how much water is used and how much they put into the sewer, and that's how they pay their bill, based on, because obviously, if they have one wedding a month, they're not paying for using that thing 30 days a week, a year or a month. But
with all the high-tech stuff we have.
Something that needs to be
So all
discussed, I guess.
So all the high-tech stuff we have, you can look at the GPM or the hours the pumps have ran, and if it's hooked to a modem, I'm not saying this works because that red light's still flashing, it's been more than a year. They can tell what it is. Somebody can look it up just like NIPSCO drives around and
If
picks
they
it.
have drinking water, and you have a private well, but you're discharging sewage into the system, we would meter your private well, and you'd be billed your sewage off of your private well usage. If you have municipal water, we would meter your municipal water, and you'd be billed the percentage off of your municipal water usage for sewer. That's plain and simple.
Doesn't sound like they have the capabilities.
It's my understanding that we do have, it's a drive-by system, right?
Well,
correct.
We have a Neptune water system, so what happens is there's a box on your water meter, and when we drive by, it sends a radio signal out to our handheld. We get that meter reading on our handheld. We come back, plug that handheld into a cradle, they download it onto the computer, generates your water usage, or your water bills off of the usage read. So we do have the technology to do that.
But you're not charging individual businesses about per gallon of waste right now. You're saying you just charge a fee that you guys come up with.
Based on,
That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Okay.
there's about 5 different systems that are used based on the businesses.
Well, I think your point, Tim, though, is that we don't run a lift station down there for sewage, right? It's got a lateral to a house, it's got a lateral to this building, it's got a lateral to the wedding venue, it's got a lateral over here, and we only pay one.
And my point is that this needs to be something that is discussed, whatever it is, because there's system development charges for each tap that's onto the system. Is this one because there's a lift station? Is this a metered account? Does each individual building have a separate bill for sewage and water? It's not as easy as one would think, but there's...
If you were metering the sewage, because the lift stations, you can get all that. You're metering that.
You meter the water, just like Ben said. You don't really...
No, I'm saying you're metering the lift station.
Okay.
You know the pump, it's a, 500 gallon per minute pump, this many hours, whatever it is. You can see all that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anything other than there's system development charges. Each unit has a system development charge. Each unit has a water meter, has a water development charge. And we're basically, it seems to me that they're asking for a place to tie their lift station onto and a pipe to get water out of, and then they're going to distribute all of these things internally on their property themselves. So
right.
It creates a very unique situation compared to the rest of the town. So I just think that for everybody's sake, there needs to be some kind of a game plan to deal with this. Because if they have 6 buildings running off of this one line, and even though it's going into their lift station, is there going to be you know, system development charges based on what? Because other people pay, you know, depending on their water service line, they pay X amount for a system development charge for each unit or each building, and this is like it's a very unique situation. They're creating a little town or a little compound.
I understand.
So it's just something that needs to be worked through, that's all.
So
Prior to
is the intention to have
somebody saying, I don't know.
municipal water to the
I would
complex?
have to have municipal
Yeah.
water.
Okay, so it's really no different than
Phase three.
it's really no different than like a trailer park. You have a master meter out front that meters the water going, and then your sewer reading is based off of that master meter read.
Yep.
It's no different than a trailer park that does that. And didn't you say Monastery does the same thing? They have a master meter that services several places, and then they're building sewer off of that, or not Monastery, the Ministry.
Cedar Lake Ministries.
Ministries, all of their,
So
the houses pay individually, but the ministry.
Yeah, we're not reinventing the wheel here. It's something's done.
How does the trailer court work?
You have one big master meter, and water goes through and registers in that meter, and your sewage is based off of your water usage, off of that meter. Where each individual home would have a 3/4 inch meter.
What about sprinkling?
Well, if it goes through that meter, you're gonna get billed for it.
Right.
You're gonna be billed for sewage going, like sprinkling your grass?
If
Yep,
it goes
you still
through
have a well there, right?
Unless you
Yeah,
have a
still
well,
have a well,
or
yeah.
you have a meter for sprinkling.
Yep.
Irrigation meter.
No, and I think that makes sense. I would in essence view the,
I just
Down in the
want,
valley,
and I
as if
just
it's-
want you guys, I want them to understand, and I want the town to understand that there is gonna be a system development charge for the whole place, or each unit, or, I just don't want I don't wanna be turning in permits and being like, what are we doing with this, because nobody discussed it.
I'd
Just let me
suggest
know
if
who's
I
gonna
could,
Try to figure it out.
if I could meet with Tim in the next couple of days, and I'll try to outline his concerns in here and finalize that, redline that. I think it's accomplishable.
So, you have not seen this?
No, sir.
Seen it?
Was it sent to him on the 17th?
Yes.
I have not seen it.
Okay.
I have another question.
Sure.
Why is this happening 4 months later, all these questions?
Well, because we've been seeing what I consider concepts.
This PUD that we sent you is the same one. The drawing that I received a bill for 2 hours of reviewing the window showing off, I got a bill for 2 hours of looking at a one-page concept plan. Obviously, this has been looked at. This PUD has been the same. What we're doing today, the meeting we had, should have been done 3 months ago. I was hoping to put infrastructure in this year. Obviously, it's not happening. I wanted a bit of engineering to get this done. I understand I don't have a complete site plan, but that gives you guys all the cards without me having the right site plan. I don't still understand. I don't feel like we're in concept anymore. We were voting to go to the other meeting 2 months ago. And Dave said he never read it. And now we're here again and he's saying he never read it.
I have a great many questions also. And usually, this is my opinion, usually we have a developer developing a piece of property this size. This is a little different.
It is
This is a little different. It's a different property.
But we were
Good
voting
but
2
different.
months ago. We were voting it, we were ready to vote on it. I sent $750 worth of letters out and ad in the newspaper. And now we're basically at day one again. And actually, we're further back than day one because we have a town lawyer that has not read the PUD that is basically the same besides the red lines as day one. The drawing you guys have had has been the same concept drawing since day one. And I'm not.
I can't.
Like taking 4 months to get to this section of talking about how we're gonna meter the sewage. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You were ready to vote on it 2 months ago. I just find it, here's where I'm a little nervous. I've been operating businesses for 37 years, and to come to Cedar Lake and have this issue from the beginning makes me question whether I want to have a business in Cedar Lake. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I love the property, but I'm being questioned on R2, how many houses might be built there. Right now, this property is zoned R2. I could wait out this moratorium and build 100 houses out there to your guys'. What's stopping me? But you're worried about me building on 20% of the land or building a couple of houses? My intent isn't, but that's how it's zoned right now. I could just drop this thing right now, walk out and live there. And in 10 years, sell it to a developer.
I'm gonna go back to what I said before. This is very unusual. The attorneys have a meeting, then all of a sudden, Nathan's meeting with staff and developing this. And that's not, and now we have this going on.
Again, I mean, the concerns that you say, I mean, I was here for the presentation, I read over this after the fact, after Terry's left, and it kind of got thrown to me, and that, those are concerns that, just reading, I mean, and you say, 20% of the land, but 25% lot coverage on that property is 653,400 square feet of building. I mean, yeah.
It is, and it's.
So, I get it, and I get everything, but like, when you look at your picture,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at 653,400 square feet, it's like,
well, no.
And I
20% is a.
And I don't think you're trying to do anything wrong, but that's just a concern, because I look at, the concept, and I'm like, okay, and then you look at that number, and you're like, well, and then you read the blanket, some R2 uses, some, when you read the thing and say, okay, you said, yeah, you want to build a couple houses, but to get to 653,400 square feet, you could build a lot of stuff on that property.
You could build,
a lot.
come up with it. Inside of the building, I could build, 52 of them.
Yeah.
At 20%.
Right.
So
And that's just, like I said, that's what.
But that all has to go through, I couldn't do it without coming in front of you.
But if you are approved to have this PUD approved, and you can have 25% lot coverage, and you say, this is what I'm doing, and it's only 600,000 square feet, I still have 53,000 left. We can't say, you can't, because they already approved it in the PUD. So that's, my part about it is like I talked to Nathan, it's just, like, I agree with the concept, I'm with Jerry, I love the idea, I love everything, but I don't wanna have.
And he's a neighbor.
I don't wanna have too stark, like, to me, like, the amount of coverage should be based on what's presented there, and later, and like I told him earlier, you guys wanna build a few houses back there or whatever, that's great, but, when I look at this, I'm looking at, 30,000 square feet of buildings, and then I do the math on that, 25%, and I'm at 653,000, that's a big, that's 623,000 difference, so.
I've always been.
That's my concern.
Yeah, I've been concerned about the infrastructure. That's what I've been concerned about. If I own that, I'd have some animals roaming around, just like what you wanna do. I get it. I'm concerned about the infrastructure and when that gets done. If you wanna do it sooner than later and leave it sit there dry, I'm not sure I have a problem with it. I don't think anybody else has a problem with it.
And I'd rather see what you're trying to do instead of having a subdivision in there.
Everybody's on board with what you wanna do, but this is, the devil's in all the details here.
And I think there's been some good things learned along the way. Ben and I have talked, and recently you guys have implemented a plan where somebody submits something, we sit down right away, we talk through it. I think that's a great way to do it. I wish it would happen here, it did, but here we are.
Yeah.
So I guess the question before us is, based upon what we have presented, there's the question of probably myself working with Tim to ensure that there's clarity moving forward for the town to know when applications are made, for what needs to be paid for applications for sewer and for water, that needs to be clarified. Two is some additional language, thought I had a note here, as to the carport, we'll update that. And then beyond that, I'm not sure that there was that much else that I've seen that needs to be tweaked. In my opinion, we're ready to move forward for a public vote on it.
I mentioned one other thing. I'm gonna call it existing non-conforming. any of that stuff has to be dealt with somehow. You know, you wanna modify this, because there's existing non-conforming stuff there. And I'd like to know when that's gonna be taken care of.
What's your concern?
Well, the house way in the back, that, I know it is, but I heard something about keeping it. So, about keeping it.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no bathroom or kitchen in it.
It's existing non-conforming. So,
It's not conforming about it.
well, it's probably, I don't think there was ever a permit for it. But it's there,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, the big carport never had metal around it either,
But
and closed off, but it's there.
But to your point, Mr. Wilkins, say for example, 8 years from now, we want to put a honeybee hive educational center in it, right? Your point is, we got to make sure Mr. Kubiak or Tony's out there, is the electrical fine, et cetera, right? That would have to happen.
I don't want to do new things to non-conforming things.
Yep.
That's my only point.
Yep, makes sense. Yep. Well,
Where-
Mr.
where-
Swick had
where-
a question.
Who does?
Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
Exhibit C, 16E, about the turn lanes. My concern is, you've got in there installed and paid for by the developer. That's a city street or town street, so how is the developer to install a street with turn lanes? So you're talking, it's a one-way each way, two-lane road, so if you're talking turning left in there, you're gonna cut off part of that road, so I think that's, I'm not a road developer, but I'd assume that, you know, we'd have to have
You would have to
something there.
widen the road.
Right, you'd have to widen the road, you'd have to have, you know, it's not like the developer can walk in and just start ripping up the road.
Correct.
So
That comes over here, doesn't it, Tim?
I'm fine with the paid part, I'm not fine with the installed part.
If they want to put turn lanes in, when they got to put turn lanes in, they come over here for a permit, right?
Well, that's all part of the development plan approval or the site plan approval. I mean, that turn lane is, I mean, based on the amount of traffic as they progress, then that is an engineered
Yes, but
plan that is approved
when
by-
it's, whatever time that needs to be done, they come over here for a permit, right?
They would have to come back here for that approval of that.
Okay.
I mean, Luke, the engineer's gotta approve, they
Right,
got an engineer
right.
to design it, we gotta approve it, and they gotta
So
install it.
there is a
for-
check and balance here.
There is, so
Yes.
this isn't
Yes.
unusual? Okay.
Yes, not unusual.
And it doesn't mean he's gonna go out and dig it up, it means that he's gonna pay for it. And he's gonna have probably some road construction company come out and do the work,
Okay.
per se. If he's gonna do it, then he's gotta clear some stuff through the town and building department for his, I guess, qualifications, which I assume he is, because he's a contractor,
Okay,
you know.
Good question.
My question is, you know, the more we talk here, the more I get confused. What do we need to, I thought, honestly, when I walked in here, I thought we were going to get some items off the board here and get squared away and be ready to take action in 2 weeks. But I don't know, where are we now? What has to be done? I mean, David, you have to review stuff?
That's up to you. I will if you tell me to.
Well, of course, I want you to review it, because this is a strange circumstance. We don't have a developer, we have
It's strange.
developers.
It's strange in more than one way, for sure. We are way out of sequence in communication and connection. If we'd reverse that a little bit, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
If you don't have the red line, or if you don't have it, if you look for it and don't have it, please get it from Ben,
I will.
and please look it over. Because
My-
this is much better than I thought it was
My
gonna be.
question is, I wasn't saying we're gonna move ahead without him reviewing it. I wanted to know if he reviewed it to date. Apparently, he hasn't. So how long is it gonna take you to review this?
Week.
I mean,
Week.
Week, it's a week.
all right, so then can it be reviewed and corrections, if any, which I'm sure probably will be some, finalized and be in front of us in 2 weeks? so we can take action. I mean, the gentleman's right, 4 months here and we're still bucking heads. I like to get it
My
off our
review-
table and get moving, and as it progresses, as you go through the phases, he can come up with a little more finer detail. I mean, he doesn't need all the fine detail he's gonna do in phase 3 right now. Because according to his timeline, that's,
I'll be honest, I wanna put a site plan together with phase 1, 2, and 3, all in it, YPAS engineer,
Amen to that.
get it all done, put the
No,
turning
that's
lane, the proposed turning lane in there, the lift station, which is gonna have to be sent. I know I'm not a big time developer, but I just wanted to fit in this industry my whole life. So I'm not developing big properties, so someone's gotta start somewhere.
yeah, but I'm not,
I'm planning on doing the site plan from day one. I wanted to put the lift station in this year until it just kept rolling down the line.
Well,
And it's not gonna happen because-
January's a long way away still.
But no, we gotta go for town council too, don't we?
The PUD ordinance will require the town council.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be into December before, now take the winter, I've already come to the conclusion, I'll spend the winter with engineers. That's gonna have to be approved by him. But I don't think that has anything to do with the language in my PUD. I mean, I do get some of the stuff, that the questions you guys are asking.
Yeah.
It is very unique. Nobody else wanted to grab this project, I grabbed it. And if I didn't grab it, it would be 100 houses. You guys all know that. No one was gonna restore these grottos. No one was gonna do what I was gonna do. It sat empty for 4 years.
As I said before, what we usually see is a developer hires hires engineers, they come in, they know all the details, everything's in a list,
And I got
and it's a lot different than this.
And it's gonna come. But the problem was, I wasn't gonna spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 between the site plan and the list. If you guys said I couldn't do
Yeah, I understand.
it. So, I mean, it's all per this site plan, and it's gonna be a little better than that.
Mr. Kapoor?
drawing.
So if you guys did, if you guys did
That's
the,
kind of my.
Wait a second, Tim.
Yeah, 'cause if I did that, I'd feel a lot more comfortable.
if you guys gave the favorable approval to the council on the 15th, the next meeting, then it could go to the council on the 21st of October, which would be the following week, for council's approval. If you gave the favorable approval at the next meeting, based on Attorney Austin's,
that's all I want is, let's bring it to the head, let's get it what we have to get done. Let's get it reviewed back in here so we can get rid of our phase 1, so this gentleman can go ahead and start his project. And I think a lot of this stuff is, what are you gonna do with all the horse crap? I don't care. If he craps in the field, let him crap in the field. I'm not gonna walk in it, I'll be overfishing.
You go in the manure for the worm.
so we're gonna do this,
Yeah.
we're gonna put it on the agenda for the next plan commission meeting.
I would like to see it as provided it can get reviewed and everything, brought up to snuff here.
And everybody get everything that needs to be done and get it back to us.
The email that you sent on the 17th, can you resend that to everybody?
I will re-forward that to everybody. I will strive to add into it some red lines from this evening so that everybody has that, so in case people stop by town hall, they can see that. And then I've got 4 days to get public notices out, so I will make work of that post haste.
I have one last thing about the coverage, because I get what Tim is saying. It's a lot. I did it, I sat there and did it with my calculator, looking at what the 8,000 square foot building, how many buildings could I build that size? So you guys come to me with a concern of where you think, where do you guys feel it should be of coverage?
I just feel it should be somewhere based on that picture, that's all. Somewhere
But I have
realistic.
some there is a phase 4 and a phase 5
Yeah.
in my brain.
No, and I guess that's
What's
my
the square
problem,
footage
is I
of the
don't know
building
what's
for
in
the
your brain.
animals?
Square feet
8,000.
per floor. So,
And
I
that
don't
is,
want to hamstring myself for future development or of
No, and I don't, I mean, I guess my feeling is that if you're moving forward with what you guys propose on your drawing and whatever, and it goes as good, I mean, I think it's gonna be an awesome thing, I think it's gonna be great, and I can picture 8 years down the road, you guys coming back and say, we're ready for phase 4 and 5, and not having any issues, because we see what's here, and now we're adding to phase 4 and 5, but right now, like, for me to look at those numbers and then try to see phase 4 and 5 in your guys' heads,
Sure.
and then, like I told him, you know, like, I've been on this for 25 years, and, you know, a lot of things are great. This is awesome, you guys are the perfect people for this. Something happens 2 weeks from now, and you guys sell this to somebody else, and somebody, or whatever happens, I mean, something.
I pray it doesn't happen.
We've had it happen before, and then somebody else comes in here, and they don't have the same vision as you, but they're reading this document saying, hey, we could do this, 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 and this, and then we're over here like, holy smokes, what do we do?
I had one more question. Mr. Austin, this development, I'll call it that, this will run with the owner, the present owner, correct?
It does if it's in the agreement.
Okay. Is there a problem with that, Mr. Viss?
What's that? No, I mean, we have clear specificity in here, and I would think we would want to encourage the new owner to follow the same vision. I think that's good public policy.
Run with the land. That's what you're saying?
I'd like to say that I
Yeah.
never do, but I don't know what tomorrow, you talked to me 5 years ago, I never thought I'd own this property, so.
So PUD will run with the land, so, yeah.
I would not agree to that. Did not.
My encouragement would be, a PUD reflects public policy. This body is recommending to your council, this is good public policy, this is the vision we have for this area.
And that's why the details of this, when they transfer,
Yep.
if they were to transfer to somebody new,
And that's where your
They're-
language
they're-
wanting to come
yeah.
back is so important, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be in
But they
there,
wouldn't be
so.
able to do without coming back in front of you guys to say, hey, I wanna put
Well,
10
that-
cabins out in the woods.
Well,
That's
they-
true, but it's really hard to see what's going on from Parrish.
Well, what we've experienced in the past, things have been approved before from 2000, 2005?
8, 10.
That it was approved for this, because there was nothing in this town. And they approved it, well, then the building stopped, everything with the economy, all of a sudden, someone buys that land, oh, wait a minute, it was approved for this, this, and this, so we want mass density, but it was approved back then, so you're stuck with it.
We have people that buy things and come in here and get them changed to something else and turn around and sell them.
That's why,
And I can say, I'm willing to pay them,
well, you're right, it's not your intention.
Or my, someone else, or
But
whatever.
what we worry about is in the future, well, okay, well, 15 years from now.
Yep.
This has to
You're
be
done.
reasonable and go with the drawing, that's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the lingo in the.
Okay,
We've got work to do, we'll get on it.
good, thank you.
all. Thank you.
Are you leaving now, right now, Nathan?
Yes.
I would like Ben to announce about the building department and the move before you, I'd like everybody to hear this. Ben, could you, that we're moving into the old police station?
Just that the building department will be closed tomorrow and Friday as they are moving into the renovated old police building. But they will be open Monday morning at 8 a.m. and ready to serve the public's needs.
Turn right when you go in.
Yes, turn right, not left.
Good plan, thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, number 3, Pinto Concrete, Serrano, site plan and rezone. Owner petitioner Louis Serrano, 1927 Spruce Circle, Munster, Indiana, 46321. Cindy of 12644 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a site plan waiver for a new business and zoning change from B1 to B3. We have a petitioner. Is he notified? I assume.
Nobody's online?
No idea.
There are people online, but no one's chiming in.
Nobody for this petition, huh?
I had a question about the request, Tim. This is a three-use building, triple-use building?
Well, it could be, yes.
Okay, so the request is not exactly,
No, I would agree. The request is for a rezone from B1 to B3. As you all know, in the past, it was kind of there's been a B3 use there with a special use for the occupant over the past several times. I kind of hinted to head in that direction when they were here, but obviously that didn't happen, so,
well, can you dial this in a little bit so it's ultra clear?
we will try, and I guess, I don't know your guys' feeling on the changing to B3, but I know in the past it was,
Yeah, well,
it was kind of steered in that direction of the special use for the individual business, so it didn't just open.
right, we had B3 in the back, and we had one bit, a B2 maybe, and then up front it was gotta be one.
The concrete guys have purchased this property and they intend, or their current intentions are Pinto Concrete only, no, just one use, one business. I don't know, I mean, obviously that building is set up for 3 units, so I'm sure that's not gonna be forever, but,
Well, we don't wanna have to chase them.
right. So
After the fact.
I don't know if you guys all remember, but there is some issues over there with the roadway, 127th is like in the front of the building, and there's a easement across the back of it, and there's quite a few issues over there, which I don't know if came to light or not, but we'll get a hold of these guys and try to get them on the same page.
Is T&J Landscaping, is that all gravel back there?
Past.
T&J?
It's about 50 feet past the building is hard surface, and then past that is, yes.
Okay, all right.
Millings and gravel.
That's the same
Okay.
size as the last one?
It's an adjacent property.
All right, well, we'll move on if,
It won't be on the public.
Nope.
so they need to be notified and they need to show up at the next work session next month.
Yes,
Before they can do anything. Okay, number 4, Setter's Edition, final plat update. The estate of Joseph Setter by his personal representative, Everday Setter. Petitioner Joseph C. Savantoff, 9801 Connecticut Street, Crown Point, Indiana, 46307. Vicinity of 13616 Cedar Street, part of Outlots H and I, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner requesting previously approved final plat from October 20th, 2021.
Good evening, hi. I'm Nancy Frigo Svettenhoff, and I'm here before you tonight on behalf of my clients, the Cedar family, the owners of the property, and asking respectfully for your cooperation in correcting a recently discovered clerical recording filing mishap which occurred a few years ago in 2021. We were working with a custom home builder a few months ago who was going to build a beautiful custom home for his parents upon this lot when it was discovered that there was an apparent supposed issue with the lot. I was told from that custom home builder that when he came into the Cedar Lake Building Department here, that the town representative told him that the lot was not buildable and it was only an outlot. I had no idea what on earth he was talking about, since we had a fully approved final plat from the town of Cedar Lake at the end of October 21st as a single-family subdivided buildable lot. With this information given to me from the custom home builder, I then went and met with the staff here at Town Hall to find out what was going on. The staff had a hard time finding the records from 2021, and I explained all that we had went through back in 2020 to get it approved for a single-family one-lot subdivided lot. The town building department then discovered the file from 2021 and verified everything that I had explained to them was in fact true. The lot was in fact fully approved by the town of Cedar Lake as the lot. I was then told that apparently the town of Cedar Lake fully approved designated one-lot subdivision lot Mylar document from 2021 was never recorded with the Lake County, Indiana's Recorder's Office, causing the clerical filing error within the records. The ownership nor I had any previous notice of any of this previously to that, up until that moment. In pursuing this not recorded issue, I then discovered from the town's building department that they stated that the final Mylar lot survey drawing did not have the necessary mandatory signatures placed upon it. That step should have been completed and recorded after the town's final approval of this being a buildable lot for a single-family dwelling was given at the October 21st meeting. Inadvertently, I'm sure due to no malice from any parties, that final clerical protocol was missed. Hence, obviously, that it was then missed to be recorded properly when it was approved. Upon learning of this clerical mishap, I immediately contacted the surveyor who created the Mylar document, and yes, he did confirm to me that yes, apparently there was a miscommunication between the necessary parties involved back then, and he would work on getting that error corrected immediately. I was relieved to hear it was in fact a human clerical error. I did relay these details to the Town of Cedar Lake Planning Department, Mr. Terry Connolly. I then personally went and got the correct Mylar from the document from the surveyor, and I brought it into the building department office so it could obtain the town signatures upon it for recording. I then received a call from Mr. Conley, and he stated that Cedar Lake implemented a new rule that the time had expired on these types of recording issues, and I needed to come before you all here in your meetings to explain to you what happened so I can get this recorded properly for the family property. Sadly, the original custom home builder walked away from building his parents' beautiful home on that lot because of the timing of the delay. Couldn't work for them. But I am working with another custom home builder who wants to build a custom home upon it. We have already met with Mr. Conley, and this quality established home builder does understand all that is going to be needed done on the lot to get the building permits. So here I am tonight with the town-approved correct Mylar, which I gave you guys, and all the necessary owner signatures upon it, and I'm asking for the town to please sign it. I also pledge here to you that I personally will I'll take the fully executed Mylar to get to the recording office. I get it recorded, done at Lake County, and I will bring it back to you guys fully recorded for your building department office. I am completing this circle for the Cedar family and the great town of Cedar Lake. Any questions?
Yeah, Dave, do you have anything to say about this?
Seems there's a pattern here that is repeating. If there has been a mistake, it needs to be corrected. It's really difficult to understand what internals were going on, but apparently there were in terms of process to take an approved final plat, complete the signature process, and then record that instrument. The recordation triggers timing in the responsibilities of the new owner. It triggers attention to those details by our staff, and it's a public record of the action that was taken. Last month, you all looked at and heard me talk about the PUD ordinance for the Pinecrest Marina project, that we had the same problem. In fact, I've taken care of that documentation, and they'll be processing in the next couple of days. But the same result exists, or begs to exist, and that is that this needs to be executed. I'm not certain the signatures are right, to be honest with you. 4 or 5 years, that's changed. But there's a correction recommended. You could technically and strictly black and white say no, deny the request. You could do that. Is it the right thing to do? There's nothing in the book on this. Nothing. Couldn't find a case if I tried. So my recommendation is taking that equity and making this right for all parties is probably important. And it's advisable, Chuck.
Well, I got a question because there was 2 outlets in that subdivision. This one was the first one that was approved, and then the second one, we made them put a rain garden in. Because right now, this is a bowl-shaped property, and all the water, there's only an 18-inch pipe that drains that whole subdivision all the way from Morris to 136th Place, 136th Avenue, all that encompasses.
Chuck, this is property up the street here.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
That's the one that has all the flooding problems, and we still haven't fixed the flooding problems.
Well, the flooding problems are important, and you're properly addressing them, but they are not the plating issue that identifies how the parcel of land is divided and held. It's an ownership method that is not tied into that storm.
Well, what I'm tying it into is because things change now,
Right.
especially with the flooding. We have a water problem, we haven't fixed the stormwater issue. Are they gonna be able to, this property needs a rain garden or something, because it'll go, the water's shed, non-pervious surface, it's all gonna go towards the east.
Excuse me.
That back drain.
But do you recall the document that you all received back on August 3rd from your engineers saying that the recommend approval of this lot and, you know, what was needed to do? And so, we already had that done. Everything was met. We went through all these questions 4 years ago, and I do recall, I think you were here too. We met all that, and it was approved. The only thing that didn't happen was a clerical error, and we were never informed of this clerical error. And
You guys
I don't know,
never
it
came
was
in
COVID or
contact.
something. I mean, I don't know why we never got and normally, any real estate people, you know, we don't see any of this stuff until we go to closing. We get the survey, you know, so these builders, when they came in to work on this, it hasn't transferred ownership. It's the same owners, because we can't, we gotta get a building permit, which was approved. You know, we don't see what you guys do behind the scenes.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But what we're looking at, this survey we see here, Sedor's addition, says the address is 13515.
Yeah, the
Property
surveyor
across the
messed up
street
at
is
6
one-
and 5. Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it on the survey. The town, what's his name? The surveyor inadvertently put a 6 instead of a 5. I mean, a 5 instead of a 6. But it is 615. They fixed that. You have a copy of all of that.
Okay, well, I'm looking at,
That's the mailing
still
address.
says 13515.
No,
And I was questioning because the house across the street's
Right.
13616.
Right, I sold the property across the street, and now it's worth 1.7 million. This always was used as a parking lot for all the neighbors over there. So the correct address is on the Mylar. You have all the correct things on the new Mylar that I gave to your office a couple months ago.
Tim, this survey here, you're good with what we have here in front of
You
us?
have
Yeah, I
the
looked
Mylar.
at the final plat.
Okay.
The final plat actually has you as the president, and
Okay.
I don't remember the secretary, but I agree with Mr. Austin. I mean, whoever, they came through the process, they actually came here and got the final plat approved, but nobody ever brought the final plat into this office to get signed and then picked up and taken and getting recorded. I talked to Mike Kalabowski at the recorder's office, and he said there was no expiration on the date or anything as far as the county goes. If you bring something in to get
Right.
recorded that's executed, that they had no issues with, you know, no timeline, just to see if there was something that had to be renewed or whatever. So basically, you were the president of the plan commission at that time. The secretary, I don't know if there was somebody, I don't even it does
Jill-
not even have a name on it.
Jill was the one that
Yeah, it just-
sent me
it
an
just says-
email
It
that
just
said
says
it was
secretary,
approved.
it doesn't have any name on it, so I would assume that any representative should be able to sign the secretary's spot at the town manager.
So,
Current secretary.
So based on what's in front of us, it's all good, and you've made record?
Made record,
You've made-
plus it's
you've made-
in,
you-
you
You've
can
made,
go on Don Oliphant's, from stormwater meetings from 2021. He said the drainage in that subdivision was undersized. You have an 18-inch, so now we're gonna add impervious surface to already undersized system. Which,
and that's all?
for that, we made him put at least rain garden in to slow it down, before it goes in the system, overload the system.
And that's all on
We do have a
record?
current plan to upgrade the system once we get one more easement.
That's
I thought you secured that easement.
7505 136th Avenue, we're still waiting on that easement.
That's for your roadhouse?
Nope, the neighbor next door did.
Oh, are you the adjacent neighbor to this property, Charles Becker?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
used to be.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
I know the flooding issues over
Okay.
there. I dealt with the flooding
Charles.
issues for over 25 years.
Yeah, and this lot is in the middle of the street, so there is a further house down adjacent to it that used to be an outlet too, before, so,
Yeah,
south of it. The topography goes lower,
okay.
so, yeah.
All right, as long as everything's accurate. I have no questions.
So you'll have to come back in 2 weeks to the next meeting, that they would take action on it, and then we would have that Mylar. Did you bring 3?
You guys have it all, yeah.
You brought 3?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we would have them here that
Okay.
evening if they so choose, and they will sign them, and then you can take them with you and get them recorded.
All right, thanks, you guys.
And there's no guarantee you're going to be approved or not. You
Well-
could be or you could not.
Wish for the best, guys.
Have a good night.
May I suggest that we take on the task of recordation and have a callback or feedback report to you when it's done, if in fact there's an approval?
Particularly the lady who was at the podium.
Yes. Yeah, it has nothing to do with her, it has to do with developing some internal procedures, which are part of our problem.
Yeah, but once it's recorded, she can get that in an email, right?
Oh, come pick it up, or
Okay,
email, or...
all right.
I'll go record it and bring it back to you guys that day.
No, please, no more of that.
Whatever, I mean, I had no control over what happened before. It's not my job.
Whatever it takes. Nor did any of us.
Do we address the drainage?
It was addressed previously. The engineer did.
But things change over years now. Is what I'm saying is, that was 2021, this is 2025. Our standards change. I mean,
The street hasn't changed.
is an 18-inch pipe for that whole subdivision enough?
Doesn't sound like it. I don't know what that area is exactly, but
All the way up to Morris, all the way around the horseshoe, all the way down.
Please
I guess if it-
review Don's notes.
I've not looked at anything that Don wrote on this. I guess my question is if we want to make them put in a rain garden, is that not something we do at the building permit phase?
They can be addressed at building permit stage. It's within the parameters and jurisdiction of the building department in the processing of permits.
Because that catch basin, that's the last one to drain out of the whole subdivision. Because you got the water coming up the hill, 8-inch pipe coming down, you got an 8-inch pipe coming from the north that wides into it, going into a 10.
Your project's gonna be, how big a pipe?
That's Don engineered that project, but it was to relieve that, the project was to take care of the problem that was in that low spot there.
Okay,
I don't know the details. I know that we were lacking, at the stormwater, it keeps saying we're lacking one easement, which I don't know if you were working on that or.
No, Bob just mentioned that, I don't recall any.
Yes, it's 7505, 136th Avenue.
so it's on record, please look Don's stuff over
I don't have that.
and see what he's got, and make sure that, and then Tim can make sure it matches and we can talk about it.
Now, Chuck, you told me that when Dave Carey built that subdivision there, that helped alleviate some of the
Yes, it
flooding.
did, because there used to be a river running down that road,
But we'll get to the bottom.
and it stopped it coming from the east.
No, don't. All right.
Okay,
So we could actually request a rain garden for that?
If it's part of the approved final plat, the answer is yes. If it is not, and it's not one of the criteria for storm drainage runoff on that property, the answer is no.
And the final plat has been approved?
Final plat is approved apparently, but unsigned, which is the opening, I guess, for a review.
You remember who was the secretary back then, Jerry?
I don't think we had really had one.
We just had the minutes of stuff and it showed Jerry was the president, but there wasn't it didn't have like.
And there was a variety of people who would take a drive to the county,
Yeah, it was just.
or not take a drive.
Well, it was just a Mylar and it says president, secretary, and a date. That was it. So, I think that your problem is valid, Chuck, but I believe that the storm project that is slated for that area is to correct the problem that you're concerned with, and I think that that's gonna take care of.
No, because that's just getting it to that drain. The problem is, the drain that this lot's gonna drain to
Mhm.
is behind that. What the project was, is from 136th Avenue to that corner lot, that corner of the property where the storm drain is.
So from the north lot to that catch basin that's currently there, that's where
That's where that pipe is supposed to go, because right now, it's a clay tile that goes underneath the house.
right, okay.
And that's what it was supposed to do. They were supposed to take it from underneath the house, fill it with concrete, and move the pipe going, so it goes right there. But it's still,
Across the road and through to the lake.
well, it goes to the back right here, which ties in, you got 2/8 going into a 10. So, it backs up all the time. This is the last one to drain of the whole subdivision. Well, right now, you got all grass, everything else. You put impervious surface like you did, up the street on 136th Place, that's a lot of concrete, a lot of, rain shed, it's gonna fall right there and nowhere to go.
Mr. Austin, is the place to deal with this at the building department when a plan is submitted?
It's my opinion that this starts at the storm board. The storm board has exclusive jurisdiction over stormwater. That's who Don dealt with when he was engaged in his technical review and analysis.
But there's no, but this is a plat approval,
This
Right.
is a place,
as it's shown.
this is a place, if you have the approval requirements, you can have jurisdiction under the plat for enforcing or administering or handling.
But under our ordinance, after 180 days, it's supposed to go, fall back, right?
So this is what a judge would call that, Chuck. Do you have clean hands or don't you? And my suggestion is that we had a bit of confusion. I've described that openly here in public meetings. And we were getting through a time period and process of staffing and process procedures and the like.
I'm just worried about the storm drain.
Yeah. But this thing was already approved and voted on and done. It just
Exactly.
said ministerial
But you're gonna have to review that if someone comes in for a permit, right?
review.
You're gonna have to look at that lot and say, okay, you got, this has
Well,
gotta be this high and this has gotta be that high?
Jerry, he's a gatekeeper. He
And every one of
Tim
these
is.
lots that are built on that are not in a brand-new subdivision are reviewed by Luke's staff reviews the site plan, and they assure that the grade is proper, that's
Yeah, I got you.
standard operating procedure
So,
for
so please,
all
please
of
look,
these lots.
please look, yeah, you have that on
Oh,
document?
yeah, your engineers had all that.
Okay.
David Lewis, right?
Please review Don's stuff,
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
you're up
everything gets
to
looked at.
speed.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's what the builder was submitting to you guys when we
Yeah.
found out about that not being the office.
It was still outlot,
Yeah,
whatever.
and that made no sense, because we lost a really good, great buyer, but now we got another one, so that's good. But, yeah, we have all that ready. I can get it. If you want this copy, you could even have this. I have more.
No, if Don's prepared it, I'll be able to find it.
Yeah, you guys got the file now, so you found that.
Where-
But, all right, thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Where were the Mylars found? Does anybody know?
They never brought them.
Never brought them in?
The,
So these are replacements?
you have everything that Glenn Cog provided to us, and then they did amend the 6th and the
Yes,
5.
we have to,
Glenn probably had.
we have ones here that are replaced.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys have everything.
They're here and Cheryl has them.
Okay.
Thanks, Cheryl.
You're in charge, Cheryl.
When's the next meeting?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
October 15th.
7 PM, not 6.
What is it?
7 o'clock.
And I know. Okay, thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Number 5, offshore estates, maintenance letter of credit in the amount of $33,388.38 to expire on October 20th, 2025.
Good evening, Dave Carey, 14016 Fairbanks. A couple weeks back, I received a short list of items for correction. Those have all been corrected with the exception of moving the stop sign, which we had located today and will be moved in the next day or so. Everything else has been done.
All right, we'll do a quick re-inspection, and if all checks out, we can move on with our lives.
Thank God.
Sam, everything cool with you?
Yeah.
When will you be doing that?
To be determined, probably next week. I think.
By this time next week?
I think there was an adjustment of the sanitary sewer that you had to do that probably one of Tim's staff will check out, not us, but,
Just for the record, also, Mr. Carey's gonna have that Connex box out of there by the end of the month also, so. Yep. That's part of this.
Beautiful,
finishing up, so.
beautiful.
I know that was asked, so just to let you know.
So if everything pans out at the next meeting, we can just let this expire, right?
Correct.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Update items, Lakeside, Unit 2, Block 1, performance letter credit in the amount of $605,505.40 to expire on November 15th, 2025. Just a reminder for us.
I think this one, showing renewed for 6 months, but this is the one they asked if they could do the final surface too, without asking for a reduction in letter of credit or anything like that. So I think this one is gonna be renewed, anyway regardless, but they are gonna do the final surface on that.
And it's for 6 months?
I believe so.
We didn't get to that.
Okay. Number 2, Beacon Point, Unit 4, maintenance letter of credit in the amount of $99,032.17 to expire on November 16th, 2025.
I think this one, actually, every remaining item on here is more of a reminder more than anything. We haven't done any recent inspections with the exception of number 3, Rose Garden Estates. Obviously, those inspections are ongoing.
Sure.
So my answer is gonna be the same for, I guess, all, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Just get those on the schedule.
Yeah, and they're just on there to 2 months ahead of time. so
Right,
we're just putting them on there just to keep them on the radar now.
Right.
And who's contacting them to make sure they get something done? Anybody?
Cheryl. But they know that they're coming up.
Yeah.
Typically with these, Bob, I look at what the latest letter that Don had on this. Some of the items were as-built items, some of them are inspection items, and we'll see what's out there and then see what all needs to be looked at again.
All right. Just, I don't want them to be caught off guard and not know that they need to renew or do something.
They know they're coming up.
Number 3, Rose Garden Estates, Unit 2, performance letter of credit in the amount of $1,685,193.13 to expire on December 9th, 2025.
I thought Luke just said all these were just reminders.
He said 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
And the Rose Garden Estates is the one we're obviously actively inspecting with the town staff, so.
Okay. Number 4, Railside, performance letter of credit in the amount of $1,165,934.83 to expire on December 16th, 2025.
Yes, hi, Rob Hen and Sons, or Railside. Luke, we had this reduced last year. Don reduced it. I think you reduced it pretty close to, it can't go below 25%, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so I think we're already there. I think you reduced it last year to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not ready to move the maintenance because we don't have a final coat of asphalt yet. I do have DVG redoing the as-bills because pretty much everything else is complete other than the final coat of asphalt. But I think since it's December, we'll probably just renew it for another year as is. And then, we'll probably be ready to move next year to maintenance.
Okay. Sounds good, Rob, thanks.
Thank you.
Number 5, because it's on her, I'm reading it. Summer Winds, Unit 2, performance letter of credit in the amount of $279,817.13 to expire on December 20th, 2025. And number 6, Summer Winds, Unit 3, performance letter of credit in the amount of $14,575.48 to expire on December 23rd, 2025. Okay, and number 7, Centier Bank, Boyer Construction, expires November 19th, 2025, and that is in the amount, letter of credit in the amount of $71,467 even. What do we know on this? Anybody? Nothing?
Actually,
They're done.
I just got an email about this one earlier today, said that everything's been done. This one was, all they had was some striping and
Yeah, the
signs.
thermoplastic stop bars was the last thing, but I think they got it all done now.
We'll take a peek and make sure, but it sounds like it's a done deal.
Regarding 5 and 6, have we heard from Summer Winds about any of that stuff?
See, we're here.
Not since they were here? Okay.
I've been through there and I haven't noticed any changes of anything either.
Okay, guess we're down to public comment. Do we have any public comment?
I have one comment. Before you guys leave, I have an updated, zoning ordinance, for you all to review. The plan, or I've been instructed by Council President Nick Recupero to, sit with the Planning Commission after the next meeting and go through this, so we can move forward on our zoning ordinance correction.
Would that be at the work session?
Nope, that could either be after the next planning commission meeting or the first one in November. Which one do you all feel comfortable?
Do you have the existing and the change on there?
It's all red line.
It's
all red line,
redlined
okay.
and color coded for you.
Okay.
So do you wanna do it the end of the month or
2 weeks.
first of November?
First
These are the
part of
changes-
November.
These are the changes we gave you guys a couple months ago too, but.
First of November gives us a little time, plus that meeting starts earlier, so we're not running later.
And who's bringing the pizza?
Tim raised his hand.
I know the last time there were pizzas here, I know where they came from and I know who paid for them.
Yeah, we paid for them, didn't we?
Is that public comment?
No, that was Ben.
Domino.
I'm gonna ask about a property use issue that seems to be spinning around in circles. Grand Prize Cars was given a certain amount of cars on the property, correct? Okay. The landlord, I believe, I'm gonna engage Mr. Henn, you agreed to the number, correct?
Yes, that number was agreed to, set by the Secretary of State when he got his license to operate there.
Okay, so that's where it is.
Yes, and we agreed.
You as the landlord agreed to it. He was in the room.
Right.
Okay.
A few years back, 4 years back.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that.
So the tenant has been issued, his third violation, so his fines are up to $7,500. And, I need to have a conversation with Attorney Austin, how high do we let that go before we, pursue legal action? Or how do we go about collecting that he's not paying and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and as of right now, it's being tried in the court of public opinion.
It's not gonna be talked about here.
No, it's not. I just wanted to make sure
And
everybody
Mr.
knew
Henn
there
and I-
was a number.
Mr. Henn and I spoke about that last week.
Okay,
He's
excellent.
aware.
And I just wanted to add, Jerry, that, yeah, he's aware that, and we came in for the,
The condensing?
Yeah. It was 25. The one thing I want to say is it would be nice, because the guy tried to comply. He's got a great business. He's, he's a great car dealer. He's not one of those pay here, buy now, pay here Friday payday loan type of places. He's got a very good business, he sells a good product. I know he tried to comply by go north of town and renting a lot. Now, I guess there was some problems with that. It would be nice if there was a way for you to work with him, because he is trying to comply with that. I understand he's got some fines, I think.
Well, all he would need is approval to keep stuff somewhere else.
Right.
And that property where stuff was at was not approved for any of that stuff.
Right, I think it would be nice if he could have been made aware that maybe he could start that process, because it was an ideal spot. And like I said, the guy's trying to comply.
The owner would have to do that.
Right, or he could, I think he was, and like I said, I'm kinda on the outside of it, other than being the landlord.
Yeah.
But like I said, it would be nice if there was some help offered instead of just, slamming him with, fines and penalties.
No slamming.
He knows a lot of people, he's very resourceful. If you gave him approval to keep stuff at Hen and Sons on 41,
yeah, I don't have much room myself.
He was told.
Oh, yes, you do.
He had 2 weeks to get the cars gone, and they didn't, and then he got them gone, got down to the number, and then 2 weeks later, he was back up to 49 cars, so he was clearly, nicely told, not just, here's the bar.
Yeah, he has to meet with us, and we met with him and talked to him, and we gave him an extension of time, and he did work to get him down, but then, like Tim said, and the cars
and everything you said, I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gotta find the space. Somebody else doesn't find the space.
Right, I don't know if he was aware of that process, that's what I'm saying.
We were very considerate with his situation and gave him time, and he got it to that number, and 2 weeks later, he went right back. And we even asked
And it's a good business for here in town.
Yeah, it is, and it'd be nice if he could, a little help could be given to him to help find another location for the overage of the cars. It's all, that's my point.
How about Railside?
Yeah, there you go, that would work. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Public comment?
Good evening. I just have a general question for all.
You gotta state your name and address.
Bill Gores, 13546 Beach Place, Offshore Estates. The punch list for developers and stuff like that, is that a public document that we can see? Or is that only for the developer and contractors?
Public record.
Public record. How do we get access to that punch list?
Written report.
Because I've had access for our bylaws for about 2 months now, and I can't get them from the county. So is there a faster way to expedite that?
Gotta come in and fill out a paper, right?
They're not recorded at the county?
Well, I've asked for access of, that's just an example of something that I'm trying to get access to. I have not been able to get access to. So I'm just wondering if the punch list for developers and contractors is public or not, and how I get that list.
It's gotta fill out a form, right?
Yeah, we have a form. There's a form.
With who?
in
The town.
Okay.
Planning and Building Department.
Okay. Let's say punch list for said contractor and developer is approved, and they're allowed to move on, and ongoing issues go on with that subdivision. What recourse do we have?
Penal.
I'm sorry?
Penal.
I'm not a lawyer, forgive me, I don't know what that means. Penal?
Penalty.
Okay,
Penal.
okay.
Once everything's good though, stuff in the future belongs to whom?
Let's say something
Issues in the future belong to the HOA.
Let's say something is supposedly corrected and it's actually not, and then the town comes looking for us for restitution. What recourse do we have if the punch list is technically filled out?
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you're fine, no.
The town would have enforcement authority up to the time of complete construction, release of bonds.
Okay.
After that, it's any issue is between the parties involved, private parties.
Okay. And so since as a resident of Offshore Estates, what is that deadline?
Don't know.
How do we find out what that deadline is?
They're still building and that's something you're saying.
I mean, the deadline is October, it's the next meeting, 2 weeks.
October.
For both gentlemen or just one?
For the release of the maintenance bond the maintenance bond is just for public infrastructure.
Right.
So that is the sewer and the road and the
Okay.
curbs. So
Okay.
that is what the performance bond is posted for, the detention basin, the roads, the curbs. So it's not for the whole, you know, I mean, every inch of the property, let's just say, but it is for the public infrastructure that was installed on the property that the town of Cedar Lake, basically, the things that are going to be, like the detention pond is basically the HOA's thing with the road,
Right.
the curb, the sewer line, like once this maintenance bond is released, now that is out the town of Cedar Lake's infrastructure.
Well, okay, so let me ask a more specific question. The maintenance bond is for roads and sewers and stuff like that, but the other items...
Public infrastructure.
Right, public infrastructure. So the items that we all looked at, I don't know, about a month ago, that's not public infrastructure, right? That's for the
Correct.
HOA,
Well,
right?
I mean, the easements and the, you know, the manhole and the storm drainage is public
Correct.
infrastructure.
Okay.
I mean, technically, that's all public infrastructure. I mean, it's something that's part of,
Okay.
you know.
So the maintenance bond, for clarification, only has to do with the contractor's responsibility to the town to make sure that the sewer infrastructure's in and the roads are correct.
Correct.
Stormwater, thank you. The rest of the issues with the HOA do not have to do with the maintenance bond. Is that my correct understanding of it, the situation?
Yeah, and I don't know what issue specifically you're referring to, but.
Well, I've got photos of my neighbor I standing ankle feet water from the swale that's still not fixed. That's one. But, you know, that's not here or there. I'm just trying to get clarification of what to expect in the future.
Well, if anybody, October 20th,
right,
the maintenance letter of credit expires, $33,388.38. Anybody who messes something up after that,
right,
is gonna have to deal with.
Well,
the
right,
building
and
department.
for clarification, so I have the proper understanding, because I'm sure everyone's heard about what happened not too long ago. For my proper understanding, the maintenance bond has to do with public road, public sewer, that ties in to our HOA. It doesn't have to do with specific things with our HOA, like the swale and the other issues with the other partner in the development.
I mean, I've seen the pictures with the swale.
Right.
I'm here to tell you that swale is good. I mean, I checked the grades on the swale, and that little bit of water that's in there immediately after a rain, that is, I mean,
But
that's
that-
drainage. I mean, a drainage problem is.
Tim, with respect, that was 2 days after a rain. That wasn't the day after a rain. With respect.
Well, the picture that I seen was from the day of the rain that I was told.
No.
Was that the water that deadheaded into the sod?
Mhm.
Oh,
Correct.
Right.
But what my, because I don't wanna,
And
but
again-
I don't wanna make this worse, any
No,
worse than it
and I
is.
guess, I mean, the.
My
problem-
question is to get, like, I'm trying to understand where the town's responsibility starts and ends and our HOA responsibility starts and ends. Does that make sense? So if the town's responsibility stops at roads and sewer, I respect that. I completely respect that. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where homeowners, our responsibility starts and ends. So, because for months now, we've been hearing with the actions of the two developers, call them what you want, developers is general contractor, I don't care. I'm trying to figure out what our responsibility could potentially be in the future.
Would
And
that be in the
what that
bylaws,
would be.
Mr. Austin?
No, probably not. It sounds like these are private matters.
Yeah, but
Point in
those,
time
but the maintenance of the general areas would be designated in the bylaws.
That would be in the HOA.
In the HOA bylaws,
That's right.
okay.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because number one, there's a disagreement over whether we have current bylaws. It's very difficult to get current bylaws from the county.
Don't we have them? Wouldn't we have them here?
They're not required for a subdivision plat.
Yeah, and I guess,
There.
I mean, I guess to the extent of the sod area with the drainage, I mean, I was out there, I shot the elevations, we went out there with Luke, I know that they're good. And I know Mr. Carey went above and beyond doing what he did to get it to that point. If there's still a little place holding water, I don't anticipate that it's gonna be left to anybody else. And unfortunately, that particular lot, I mean, that he went above and beyond to try to help fix, because we released, that was before the escrow was involved.
Respectfully to everyone, I'm not trying to go there.
No, I know.
Okay, I'm just trying
feel
to, what I'm trying to understand and ascertain is, as homeowners, once Mr. Carey and Dykma are relieved of any responsibility, or actually, when they are relieved of any responsibility, where does that stop and start, and where does the town's responsibility stop and start, and where does our responsibility start as an HOA? Does that make sense?
And whatever is...
Like, it's not, like, the issues are clear, they're never gonna be fixed,
Right.
as they should be,
And what is
but,
in your HOA as far as maintaining and taking care of is your guys' responsibility to maintain and take care of.
okay.
That-
Here's a better
But where is that on paper at?
Right.
Is that the county?
HOA or restrictions.
Yeah, but that had to be recorded at the county.
It would have been at
So
the
he should
time.
be able to go see Mr. Halabowski and
Probably
get that,
not.
right?
Probably not.
Haven't been able to get it, number one. Number two, there's a discrepancy between what are current and not current bylaws.
Do you have either one?
No.
Okay.
I'd like Dave to continue what he was saying.
The recorder would take care of the recordation, it would not be a subordinate's responsibility. And that would have probably been an instrument that the developer made at the time of the approval of the project. It would have probably followed right behind the subdivision plat. Might have been referenced on the
Well,
subdivision plat.
like, I'm talking in generalities right now. I'm not
That's
even
what I
talking
am
about
too.
anything specifically.
Well, I am
And I'm,
too. Well,
and I'm sorry, I don't, respectfully, I don't speak lawyer. Like, so I don't understand,
Do we have...
you know.
HOA is all I got.
Yes.
Are they...
Where are they at?
And Mr. Bowes also received a copy when he purchased Canway, he mailed him a copy, so.
Okay.
Let's
I don't want to, like, again, I'm just speaking in generalities, I'm just asking basic questions. I'm sorry.
I was talking.
Yes, sir, you were.
We're allowing 3 minutes, you're way over the 3 minutes. I suggest you wrap it up.
No, just, I appreciate your time, and again, I'm just trying to ascertain where our responsibilities as homeowners start and end. That's it. That's all. And it's been very difficult to get that from everybody. So that's all we're trying to figure out. Thank you. Appreciate your patience.
John, can I ask one question?
John,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Chuck.
I think when he was who's gonna cut the grass at the retention pond? Is that who's gonna be,
No, Chuck, respectfully, I'm talking about anything that comes up in the future, because this commission has been talking about pretty serious fines and violations. And what we're trying to do is just make sure everything is done up to standard, so that there are no issues with our subdivision, there are no issues with the people that built the subdivision, so that there's no future issues, that we just get to a point where everyone's happy and we're all up to code, or whatever the proper language is, and no one comes back to us looking for future repercussions. Then we're sitting there as HOA, why wasn't this taken care of by the developer or the town or the general contractor or whoever's responsibility it is? That's all we're trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Because when we're talking about fines of $7,500 per violation, as I said here 2-3 months ago when I first came up here, we don't have that money. And I don't want problems with the town, I don't want problems with neighbors, I don't want problems with the Careys, I don't want problems with Ryan Dykma, I don't want problems with everyone. I just want everything to be in a place where we're happy, everything's up to code, and we all can go our separate ways. That's all I'm looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring this down so you can hear me. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Fatima Shabazz. I live in Munster, 8517 Madison Avenue. I guess this is kind of a buyer's beware regarding Lennar. Back in October of 2021, I had put down earnest money of $7,500 toward a Rutherford B 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-garage. So what had happened was, the first week of December, I ended up going to the office and asking them to I didn't want to go with them. They were telling me they were going to go ahead and break ground, so on and so forth. I told them if they didn't mind, I would want a release of the $7,500. Long story short, she said, no problem, we didn't break any ground, no problem. Okay. Well, I waited for my earnest check, it never came, and then come in February, I get an email from her saying, what kind of cabinets do you want? I said, I canceled this, I've been waiting for the earnest money, and there was communication between her and I, and then I had a hard time contacting the lady who was in charge, Deb Duskowski. It's a Polish name, whatever, Duchowski. So long story short, I said, what are you talking about? I had told you I came physically to the office and canceled the purchase of this property. So she said, well, I want to know the reason why you decided to cancel. I said, well, in December I told you I was just no longer interested. And then in regards to, I was losing...
So, excuse me, what is your point here?
Okay, so what happened was, in February 22, she was going to go ahead and still continue, and they didn't even start the building of the home. The ground was not broken yet. They did not break the ground. So long story short, I am just trying to tell people that be careful doing business with Lennar. I had a hard time. I did not get the money returned to me, and then she tried to say in February that I still had the house, and I did not. I physically went into the office in December and told her just cut it, and she said that was no problem. They didn't break ground yet. No worries. I never got the check. And then when she asked me the reason why, in February then...
I just interrupt you, ask you what's your point, and you're going through your story again. What do you want us to do?
Just to be on record about Lennar, they're very hard to work with. I don't think they're fair, and just a buyer's beware, to do business with Lennar, just to be careful. I never got my $7,500 back.
So you tried to purchase a house, and then you changed your mind and didn't purchase it, and you had put down $7,500?
Yes, and I was trying to get my earnest money, and now it's too late. It was already now 3 months. It was since December.
Did they say they were going to give you the money back?
Yes, she verbally told me that in December.
But you have no documentation?
Bob.
Stop. No, I don't think so. I mean, I could look in my emails, but I gave you a copy of that as well.
You're on record, you made that. I don't want to hear any more about it, because that's really had nothing to do with us here. So thank you for your comment.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other public comment? Last call, public comment? We're adjourned.